The next day he was traded.
Well, that's almost like buying yourself a one-way ticket, no question about that. But he comes over to help this young club. He of the NCAA all-time steals. Murdoch, a guy you can't be tentative with the basketball around. He'll take it from you every time. Mobley, a big guy who had a pretty good game the last time out, giving them some strength in the middle.
Doug Edwards, the guy with the that shirt would put some of Brett Perriman's to shame. Now, he wears some wild ones for the Lions, but that may top that one.
I can't use that. I'm sorry.
That would clash
with anything and everything.
And the Grizz, the Vancouver mascot. You know, they've settled in pretty well here with this franchise when they already refer to them as the Bears. You know, it's kind of a second reference thing. So they've become a part of the local community here already. But typically, you know, this franchise, as really will Toronto, they have to fight for newspaper column space with hockey. In fact, in today's one of today's papers, there was, you know, a little bit of space devoted to this ball game, but there were 3 pages devoted to the Patrick Waugh deal, which sent him from Montreal to Colorado. So hockey probably always will remain king here, but the feeling is, and I'm sure the NBA is right, that there's enough room here in Canada for a little bit of basketball during the winter, along with professional hockey. Mike Crom, Mike Bobiak, Mike Klass. They are well mic'd here tonight at GM Place, as the replacement officials are ready to finish their little swan song here in the NBA. Probably another week, perhaps, and then the regular guys will come back. We're underway with Grant Hill handling it. Lechner wide open. 10-foot pop is perfect. Didn't rush the shot, and the Pistons get the first 2.
That was good execution, little screen and roll. Lechner flaring and getting that first shot down has to help his confidence, because keep in mind, he did not score at Denver. Committed 4 fouls. Never got into the flow of that game.
Antonio Harvey back to Blue Edwards. Too strong in the 3 try. Lechner got the rebound, had it knocked away by Grant Hill, who will get the board. Flash pass inside to Thorpe. OT in the block. Draws a double team, goes baseline, missed it. Rebound, Grant, back up. Ooh, there was a foul there that they let go, and Thorpe cleans it up. It's 4-0.
Well, at least Detroit is showing a presence on the glass right now. That time getting a couple of extra opportunities and a 4-point lead.
So Vancouver right now is the worst rebounding team in the NBA, and the Pistons are the 5th best. So hopefully a mismatch in that department for the visitors tonight. Reeves gives it up. Antonio Harvey with a hop and a step, and he scores. Harvey, not known as a jump shooter. He loves to run the floor, which this team loves to do. This will be a situation where the Pistons try to make it a half-court game. Vancouver will try to make it a 94-foot game. Thorpe again goes in strong and draws the foul. Harvey got him.
You know, as long as the Pistons can create proper spacing, they can get the ball into the post. Tonight, Thorpe is going against Antonio Harvey, not Dikembe Mutombo, who seemed to get stronger defensively in the game the other night at Denver. Here's that putback. Thorpe going in hard after Grant Hill's miss.
What do you think of the Grizzlies uniforms?
They're okay. I like the colors.
They're growing
rather sizable bear on the side, huh?
Yeah. Little paw prints up top.
Hey, basketball is very much entertainment now.
Lindsey Hunter somehow trying to get the rebound and then gets it back. Houston wanted to spot it for 3. Lindsey thought about it as well. It's a 5-2 Piston lead. Doug Collins, the voice you hear about taking time for Lindsey. Not wanting to rush anything. 7 seconds to shoot. Grant couldn't get away from King. Calls for it. Now 4 to shoot. Grant in the lane. Got the nice little hop.
Now that's patience. That's the Pistons using the entire shot clock, going to option C, and still coming away with dividends. You heard Doc Collins, as you mentioned, saying be patient. They were.
Anthony ran into Lechner, who was planted. And he looked like a ping pong balls he bounced off him, but Lechner picks up the foul. A little bit of movement by Lechner. Thus he picked up the whistle. So Anthony shoots 2, having by far his best year at this level.
If Lechner is going to help the Pistons on a consistent basis, Fred, he's going to have to find a way to stay out of foul trouble. I still maintain that coaches like to know what they're going to get night in and night out. And still some more problems with the net there, or the basket. But right now with Eric Lechner, you know he's going to hustle. You know you're going to get the effort from him, but you don't know how long you're going to have him in there, because he has had the propensity to pick up the fouls.
He has gotten himself into better shape, that's for sure. That's part of the way to stay out of foul trouble. It's moving your feet and getting yourself in good shape. And as he gets more playing time, he'll get himself into that game condition on a night-in, night-out basis. Lindsay Hunter was left open as Anthony went to double team, and he burned him with a 2.
You know, right now the Pistons are running their plays, and they're exploring different options. I mean, they're not going with the very first thing that the play calls for, and they're looking to see how the defense adjusts, and then they're making their adjustments. Very, very good so far.
Turnover. Here comes Allen Houston, the only Piston who hasn't scored yet. Allen tries to get into the scoring column and does. So all 5 starters, when you ever see that, have scored at least a bucket apiece here. The Pistons lead at 12-3.
This is the type of start that I envision for the Pistons. This is the start that gets Vancouver saying, oh boy, here we go again.
Exactly. And then they start questioning themselves. The record for futility of consecutive losses in the NBA in one season is 20. So they're only 4 from that. But this will be the first time this season that the Grizzlies will play back-to-back games in a row at home. This is the first of a homestand. They've played, it seems like, the entire month of November on the road. So that's part of the problem for their rugged start. We'll be with you tomorrow night from the Coliseum Arena in Oakland as the Pistons take on the Golden State Warriors, 10:30 Michigan time tomorrow night. I can't recall the Pistons ever getting off to a start like this, where all 5 of the starters had 1 hoop apiece. So that's spreading it around early.
Well, that means that they've got the offensive continuity that we talked about in our keys. They're moving it around, and they're getting good looks at the basket, and they're not having to work real hard, as was the case in Denver. 82 points was all they were able to manage in that game. It seemingly took forever.
Both teams shot under 40%. Nice move by Anthony. Threw up an air ball, though. That's the Greg Anthony we remember at New York. Sometimes out of control, throwing up some wild shots.
The only thing there, he was roundly criticized for it. Here, they just figured, hey, it's expansion.
Lindsay Hunter drains a 3 for the corner. Lindsay's actually shooting better outside the arc than he is as a 2-point shooter. Up to 40% in 3-point bombs. And 38% overall. Big Country Reeves in the lane. Threw it up too high. Rebound, Lindsay Hunter. Pistons lead at 15-3, looking to add to the lead. The game plan was, of course, to come in and try to bury this team early if they could. And Lindsay strikes it again, a line driver.
They are shooting lights out right now.
18-3. Doug Collins, I'm sure, is thinking, hey, guys, where were some of these in Denver? Would have had a win.
And 7 for 9 from the field for the Pistons. Hey, Denver, they shook out of it, too. I mean, you know, they had problems scoring against the Pistons. I still maintain, because of all the whistles in that game, neither team could get into a flow.
And a 3-second violation on the home team.
Denver's leading Utah right now, 69-59 in the third quarter.
And they've already beaten Utah once already this season. Anthony Avent will check in. Grizzlies have a double warm-up thing working there, Greg, where they get the traditional top and then sort of almost an undershirt in underneath.
You know, the point I was making earlier, basketball is entertainment, and that is reflected in the uniforms, the different diagrams and drawings that they have on the courts now around the NBA.
Sure, kids will say, hey, I want one of those undershirts like Anthony Avent has, Dad.
Yeah.
Close to the hole, too strong. Rebound out of bounds off King. Well, a poor shooting night in Denver by Otis Thorpe. 3 for 13 has dropped him off the lead in the NBA, and the field goal percentage mark. Start of tonight's play, OT at 58%. Avent checks in. One-on-one Grant Hill against Blue Edwards. Helping that way was Avant. That left Thorpe a lane, and he scores. And Otis with 5.
It was as if he said, when I get this ball, when Grant finally passes it to me, I'm going to the basket, because he caught it and went. He didn't think pass. He didn't even look to pass.
Avant had cheated off him just enough that Otis was indeed confident he could get to the rack. We have a foul before the shot. So an inbound situation here. 7:04 to play in the first quarter, and the Pistons have scored 20 of the first 23 points.
Look at Otis. Think he's looking to pass this? Thinks he feels he can take Avant?
Just a little. Didn't even have to put it up with the left hand either. Went righty. Avant missed it badly. Vancouver off to a forward start, shooting 1 for 5. Allen Houston sails inside, finds up a spot up Lindsey Hunter. Yes! Lindsey has drained 3 of 3 triples. He's got 11 first quarter points. Timeout Vancouver.
I think Detroit likes this GM place.
Right now, the Canucks and the Grizzlies would have trouble stopping the Pistons the way they're torching the nets. 9 for 12 the Detroiters are. They lead 23-3. We'll be back.
Normally, little Tommy Johnson wouldn't stand a chance against NBA star Grant Hill. But today, he's drinking Sprite.
You're in my world now, Hill.
Okay, so maybe Sprite won't make you a better athlete. But just to be sure, now we'll pit Tommy against sumo wrestler Katashi.
Good luck, kid.
Today we're at the Eagle Test Drive sale along with Vicki Edmondson.
I'm just checking out this Talon deal. The commute is really getting to me in my Acura.
I could see you in an Eagle Talon.
Yeah, I could too. 140 horses, double wishbone suspension.
Well, aren't we speedy?
Woo! This Talon deal is unbelievable.
So's the traffic out there.
Lease Eagle Talon ESI now for only $259 a month.
We're not even halfway through the first quarter, and look at this, a 20-point lead if you're just tuning in. Let's show you 2 of the points here, actually 3 of the points.
Well, Detroit recognizing that Lindsey Hunter is the hot man, and Lindsey doing a good job of spotting up, getting a great look at the hoop, and of course still working on the basket on the Vancouver end. I guess when you're shooting 1 of 5, Fred, as you look at the rebounds, Detroit totally dominant. When you're shooting 1 of 5 and having problems drawing iron, you got to figure that it's got to be the basket. It can't be our players.
Look what the Pistons have done over the last near 5 minutes, 19-1. This is the part of the game where it behooves the public address announcer not to start pitching season tickets. Should pick another time during the ball game to do that. It must be the basket at the Vancouver end. Now, Greg Anthony was complaining about the height of the basket after his missed free throw.
Well, consider this, Fred. They've shot 3 air balls already.
Yeah.
I mean, so maybe he has a valid point. This is the 3rd time they've looked at it.
I don't think the Pistons are going to give up their 23 points.
Nah, they're not going to start this game over.
Don't forget, live on Pass, Monday through Friday here on Pass Sports, 6 to 7, where we take your phone calls. We'll wrap up this ball game with Steve tomorrow. And, of course, Press Box every night at 10 and 1 in the morning. Here on Pass Sports for all the day's highlights and sports news. Lindsey Hunter has knocked down 3 of the 4 Piston triples so far. I'm sure Press Box will have highlights at 1 in the morning of this one. And the Red Wings 3-1 triumph over Dallas tonight as the Wings continue to win.
Here's the pressure I talked about in our keys. Putting it on them, keeping it on them, keeping them disrupted.
Good job by Lindsey Hunter not to foul there. Lecter fronted Avant, so he left. Anthony spins away out of control. Count the bucket, though. Nope. Now he's going to wave it off before the shot is the foul. No bucket. So it's an inbound as Lindsey inadvertently tripped him.
I got news for you.
That's a good bucket, I think.
That basket should have counted.
Yep. Even Doug Collins wearing a bit of a sarcastic grin as if to say, okay,
Yeah.
I'll take that call in our favor. Joe Dumars will check in. And Lindsay sits down with his second foul. So that's the only bit of bad news for the Pistons here in the first 5:40 of the ball game. Grant with a block on it, 6-10 even. King had it blocked by Leitner, rips it out of there, throws it to Grant. Pistons with a running opportunity, 4-on-3. Grant pops from 17, front iron, rebound to Reeves. Here's Anthony up the floor. Home crowd finally getting a chance to cheer a little bit here. They got a rebound. Still 23-3. Dumars closes on Anthony, but too late. And the left-hander strokes the triple. He's a 29%er out there. And Anthony has 4. 23-6. Houston on the drive. Goes inside, draws the whistle. You know, the only downside to getting off to such a huge lead so early is there's so much time you can't afford to relax.
That's just it. And, you know, again, we talk about not being overconfident. Well, that becomes doubly difficult, as you indicated, when you jump out to a 20-point lead midway through the first half. But I think the Pistons understand that this is a vitally important game for them.
Oh. Just to get a win, and you don't care if it's against the Phillips 66ers.
That's right.
You'll take it.
If they're on the schedule.
That's right. I haven't looked at the January schedule. Athletes in action, they're not on there, are they?
No, I think they've disbanded until next college season.
Allen Houston will try again. Allen settles for the split. Daughter Kelly Cons can probably go to bed now. This game, she feels probably in the win column. First one for Dad. She wouldn't mind that. Watch it on the satellite dish back home. Reeves on a fadeaway, and it went down. Blue Edwards was up there to sort of coax it home.
Hey, well, that'll be the equalizer, because a moment ago they negated a Greg Anthony basket, and that was definitely goaltending, as Blue Edwards was right up there in the cylinder as the ball was going through.
Thorpe trying to muscle up for a layup. Instead, he got a jump ball with Anthony Avent. So a pair of 6'10 guys will duel here.
Reeves shoots the fadeaway. Edwards coming in to try and get an offensive rebound, and that is goaltending, folks. You cannot play with the ball when it's in the cylinder.
So Thorpe against Avent. Came over here at the beginning of the season in a deal with Orlando. Larry Stewart and Kevin Pritchard went down to Orlando. All that and then a horrid toss and a whistle. We have a circle violation. Otis talking to one of the officials about the toss of the ball on the jump ball. Went through all the machinations to get him started out, and this thing went a little bit down the left side of the fairway there. Kind of hard to hook a jump ball, isn't it?
Well, you know, when you're an official trying to bail out of there because you don't want to get hit in the head, which happens sometimes, then sometimes your toss is a little awry.
Big Country Reeves, this is his 5th straight start. Averaging 10 points and 6 boards in a starting role.
That's his best move, the turnaround along the baseline, and he's hit it from both sides of the hoop now.
He does have a pretty good touch within 15 feet. So does Allen Houston, way out to 21, and he drains it. And Allen has 7. 26-10, Pistons by 16. That's Avent. Pretty good offensive rebounder, not much of an outside threat at all. Reeves called for it, turns on Leitner, doesn't get it. Up there, Avent, that's what I'm talking about. Missed it though, rebound, King. Chris King, who is also a very good offensive rebounder, gets his first 2. 26-12.
Yeah, and just as Vancouver fell down by 20, they can come back because, again, they, you know, a young club feeding off the enthusiasm that seems to be rising in their favor right now. And there's a call that's going to give them the ball right back with a chance to cut the lead, which is now 14, Fred, down to 12, possibly 11.
Eric Leitner setting the screen, picked up the foul. It's number 2 on Eric. So Terry Mills will undoubtedly come in at the next stoppage.
Keeping it alive. Avant, good job. Couldn't finish, but then here comes King with the left hand. Get it off the glass.
Lou Edwards in the post. High off the glass, and he buries it. Lou Edwards is a three-point gunner this year, but he's always been pretty strong in the low block for a two-guard. He's also played some small forward, of course, during his career. Had his best season a few years ago with Milwaukee when he averaged 17 points a game. Allen Houston thought about the three. Now he takes it inside aggressively. A leaner. Almost went down. Joe Dumars applauding the whistle, though, as Allen will shoot two. And certainly applauding the aggressiveness of number 20. Terry Mills will check in. You know, Doug was saying before the game, Greg, that not only tonight, but for the Pistons to be successful really this season, Terry Mills must give the team some scoring, but he has to play defense and has to rebound to stay on the floor to get those points.
In other words, he's got to be big, and he's got to have balance. You know, hey, Terry, we know you shoot great from the outside, but on this particular team right now, we need you with an inside presence as well. Doug has said that time and again to Terry and us as well. Terry, of course, 7 points and 5 rebounds on a basket at the end. It didn't count against Denver.
Lou Edwards on the aggressive drive. And it draws a Piston foul. Comes from Terry Mills on the help out. Time out of the floor. Pistons lead has been cut into a bit. It's 28-14. They lead the Grizzlies of Vancouver. 2:55 left to go in quarter number 1.
While a brother may be hard to propel, the Hoover Power Drive is self-propelled, making cleaning so easy, even a brother could do it.
Hoover, nobody does it like you.
He is now back! Holy mackerel! Oh, wow! The biggest slams, the baddest jams. NBA action is the real thing. NBA action, Tuesday night on Fast Sports.
Right here, right now, this is where you want to be.
Everything's new at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Even new ways to save. The 96 Buyer's Choice Drive Away. It's your choice. Lease the award-winning Chrysler Cirrus for just $249 a month. Or get our lowest APR. Or our biggest cash back.
Right here, right now, this is where you want to be.
See one of your Southeast Michigan Chrysler Plymouth dealers today.
Don't forget Pistons basketball brought to you in part by your Michigan Toyota dealers. See your Michigan Toyota dealer and test drive the new Tacoma 4x4. Pistons gone off to a 23-3 lead. And obviously they're not going to be able to continue to play at that level. Vancouver's starting to get some shots to fall. And it's a 14-point margin right now.
Well, Vancouver starting to show a little life. They look like a team not ready to play the first 5 or 6 minutes of this quarter. But they're alive and their fans are into it now. So I imagine that this will be a very competitive game.
Well, they led the Chicago Bulls here in a recent home game. And then Michael Jordan took over, had 19 points in the fourth quarter and literally did what he wanted to and won the game for the Bulls. But they did put a scare into the Chicagoans nonetheless.
You know, I was talking to a couple of members of the Grizzlies broadcasting team, and they were talking about that very game. They said, and you could kind of sense a feeling in the air in the arena. Hey, Michael Jordan, what's the big deal? Because he was more or less cruising for 3 quarters and then just flat out took over the fourth quarter, did exactly what he wanted to do every time, and they left the arena saying, oh, okay, we see what's up now.
First hand. Lou Edwards has 4 points. 28-16 is the score. So now it's down to a 12-point gap. Dumar's handling the point right now. Lindsay on the bench with 2 fouls. Mills spots up for 3. Rickett. Edwards with a rebound. That one just sailed left for Terry. Anthony tries a 3. Nasty shot. Can't be the rim.
Now that's playing comfortable, folks. That's coming down, pre-deciding that you're going to take a 3 and then hoisting it up in an air ball, and no big deal. You stay in the game because you're one of the best players on the team on the floor. That could never have happened last year in New York.
Now with Pat Riley, I think he'd have gotten out the hook. Otis Thorpe in the high post. Gave it up. Dumars sails inside. Nice dish off to Thorpe, who rams it home. And it's 30-16.
Once again, the Pistons going deep on the shot clock, but knowing the shot clock and exactly how much time they had to execute, they went all the way down to option 3 or C. Got it done.
Houston ball denial at first. Edwards pretty strong in there. Reeves with a tip. Tell Brian Reeves is playing pretty confidently tonight. First against Eric Lecter, and now with a bit of a size advantage against Otis Thorpe. He's a 7-footer. Dumars drew a double. Daniel dumps it in deep with Thorpe. Missed it. Rebound to Grant. That guy. They have to hurry. Ball didn't touch rim. 24-second violation.
24-second violation.
Doug Collins explaining to Terry Mills that he wasn't in the proper spot. Today's shoot around rather, Doug was reminding the guys about spacing, getting proper angles to get some of those entry passes into the low post. Avon in the post up, score.
Yeah. You're looking at a much more confident team now, Vancouver.
They cut it to 10.
Keep in mind, they're playing with really nothing to lose. I mean, you're not expected to win, and I mean, they really aren't expected to win. Sometimes that can be a very dangerous team too, Fred.
Terry Mills in the post, a foul before the shot, no hoop.
Terry backing in, spinning. Now, this is what Doug Collins likes. I think he prefers this. Terry using his bulk, his maneuverability in the post area and getting himself open for a shot, even though it didn't count. I think he likes that a little bit more.
Avon picked up his second foul. Mills called for it in the post. And he used the off arm apparently against Avon to try to clear some space in the foul against Terry. That is his second foul. Terry not too thrilled about the call. 40 seconds to play here in the quarter. Reeves called for it. Easy stuff.
Yeah, you gamble in the post. How many times have we seen it? You try for the interception with no backside help. If you don't get it, that's the end result. A dunk. And right now, Vancouver, Fred, 19-7 run since the Pistons had that 20-point lead.
They will get the ball back. Reeves suddenly just 5 points away from his career high in his rookie season. Grant lost it. Avon down the floor. Ball nearly swiped. Dumars at least knocked it out of bounds. Crowd in the ball game for the first time tonight. We're expecting about 15,000 here in this 20,000 seat brand new arena. 2.5 seconds to play. Anthony goes inside, opposite hand. No. Got a clear path though, but just didn't get it to fall. So if the Pistons weren't sure they were going to be in a ball game, they know now. The 20-point ambush at the beginning has been cut to 8. 30-22. The Detroiters in front after one quarter. You're watching Pistons basketball on Pat Sports.
This holiday season, don't let a fortune pass you by. The Discover Card Big Payback is back, awarding 8 winners $250,000 each. Just shop with your Discover Card, and you're automatically entered in our holiday sweepstakes. The more you do, the more chances you have to win. Who would want to miss that? It pays to Discover, the card with the big payback. Use it where you see the Novus sign. Don't forget to save big this holiday with your Big Payback Value Book.
Grand Cherokee. Four-wheel and off-roads 4x4 of the year.
Red Wings hockey on Pass Sports.
Look out again. Oh boy. There it is. Pass back. He's in on both. Big score. Blake Johnson. He
See the most Red Wings games on Pass Sports, the source for Michigan sports.
Boy, this line just keeps on rolling.
Well, the first half of the opening quarter, the Pistons led 23-3, and in the second half, the Grizzlies came back 19-7 because of plays like this.
Well, here Terry Mills goes for the steal. He doesn't get it now. While the turnaround, Fred, is Bryant's best shot. I'm sure he'll take that anytime he can get it.
I'm sure he's found few and far between of those in the freshman season for the big guy from Oklahoma. Came from a town of about just 300 people. Pistons still with a gaudy number for the first quarter, 65%, 11 for 17. But Denver came back after the horrid start to make it interesting. King at the small forward, Avin at the big, with Reeves in the middle. Anthony and Blue Edwards, the backcourt tandem. Lindsey Hunter back out there for Detroit. Reeves in the paint. Missed it. Rebound. Lost out of bounds, but it is Piston possession. Theo Ratliff starts the second quarter up front for Detroit.
Notice Terry Mills that time staying behind, even though he did give some room to the backing in. Reeves made him shoot a contested shot facing the basket, and the Pistons come away with the out-of-bounds ball.
A little bit of difference. That's Grant with it against Chris King. He played his ball at Wake Forest. Grant soars inside, beats him, but just missed the shot.
Ooh, had enough energy to get by, but not enough to finish.
And that's something that Doug has been talking to Grant about, taking one more extra dribble instead of coming up short on some shots on drives. Good rebound, a tough one by Terry Mills, outletting to Hunter. Crosses over, blows by Anthony, a lefty, goes. How about that?
You know, sometimes you're forced into moves that might even surprise yourself. And Lindsey thought he had a lane. I don't think he ever intended to have to shoot that thing with the left-hand hook, but was equal to the task that time.
Like a Magic Johnson finish, didn't it? Blue Edwards missed a shot. Remember how Magic used to swoop in there on the left side with that extended arm?
Hey, Magic, Isaiah Thomas, very good with the left hand. Larry Bird, very good with the left hand. Three right-handers that could use the left hand very well. Here, at that point, he's left with no other option but to toss it up off the glass with the left, and it dropped for him.
So the Pistons with the ball, leading again by 10. Grant sizing up King, spins into a triple team, readjusts, puts it down, these foul. Now, how about that one?
Basketball is a funny game, isn't it? That shot was 10 times tougher than the one he just missed. Yeah. Look at this.
But talk about that, you know, as good a driver as Grant is, adding an extra dribble to what you're used to, how hard is that to do?
Well, you know, when you're a high leaper and a flyer and skier like he is, you tend to want to get in the air. Right. So you, but if you take that extra dribble like you're just talking about, it gives you an opportunity to go up strong.
Exactly. Instead of laying it up with a finger roll, now you're jamming. That's what Doug is trying to get Grant to do, and it's going to take an adjustment period. Antonio Harvey back in the ball game in the post against Ratliff. Missed it badly. Rebound to Theo. Pistons by 12. They'd like to get some more breathing room here if they can. Mills, wide open three. Nope. A long rebound in the corner. Comes off to Derek Martin, who's just checked in. Played with Minnesota a year ago. Reeves, muffed, then got it back. Martin directing traffic. Played his college ball at UCLA. Down deep to Reeves, drew a double from Grant Hill. We traveled.
You know, that's the one thing I've noticed with the replacement officials who, for the most part, do CBA games and college games. Fred, they look for that travel down under the basket. You see it much more now than you will later on this season. In about a week time.
Yeah, exactly. Byron Scott checks in. He of 3 championship rings from the Laker days. This will be his first year in 13 NBA seasons he won't make the playoffs. And if we can safely predict that.
Unless he gets traded.
That's true, too. Grant had it partially blocked. Yeah, if he stays with his club, that's the qualifier. Blue Edwards behind his back. Reeves called for it. Pretty good position. And he got it to work.
He's getting very good position. The big guy is moving. He's active. He's making himself available inside. And more importantly, his teammates are looking for him.
He's been schooled in some games early this season, but he's getting better and better, and they like what they see from the big fella. Grant launches from 19, and it's perfect. With plenty of strength on that one. He's got 6. Sometimes Grant will have his jump shot come up short or flat, but that one is perfect. Down deep to Reeves again. Terry Mills and a knockaway. Good quick hand on the ball. Pistons by 12 with it. Lindsay losing Mr. Martin. Missed the shot. Terry Mills. Did he push off to get the rebound?
They said he did.
Yes, he did. His third, he'll have to come off. And Eric Lechner was ready actually to check in, hoping that Terry wouldn't pick up his third. But he does pick up the third foul before he could come off. So it is now a all Wyoming Cowboys power front line for the Pistons with Lechner and Ratliff. One of the few times we've seen those two guys on the floor together. Grant Hill, of course, the small forward still out there. Scott gave it up. Blue Edwards launches a 2. Rebound Lechner. And it bumped out of his hands by Harvey. Still Piston possession. They've almost played 4 minutes of quarter number 2. Pistons have 2 more games out here. They'll play the Warriors tomorrow night here on Passports, and then finish up the trip in Los Angeles against the Lakers. That'll be Sunday night. And then they face those same Lakers at the Palace next week in a rare back-to-back set of games with the purple and gold. It'll be a Wednesday night affair here, or actually at the Palace. Ratliff inside, had it blocked. Theo tried to save it, didn't have to. Off Vancouver.
Well, he tries to make this move as the shot clock is winding down, but Fred, you get too far underneath that backboard becomes a defender, and he did not have the room to get it back up.
Grant had to lay it in quickly because of the 2-second shot clock, and he managed to score.
Now that's using the again the clock to its fullest, and a breakdown defensively by Vancouver, because with 2 seconds on the shot clock, you never let an opponent get a catch underneath the basket.
That's for sure. Martin jitterbugs inside, and he scores. Derek Martin, just 5'11". He's a little guy.
Martin, as you mentioned, Minnesota last year, CBA last year, and the Magic Johnson All-Stars prior to that.
Ball off the shoulder, it appeared, of Reeves. In fact, Reeves had a shirt full of Eric Lechner and was caught. So Big Country picks up the personal foul. His first. So Grant will inbound it. And Big Country sits down for a rest. Eric Mobley checks in. Again, he came over in the Milwaukee swap with Murdoch as Benoit Benjamin went to the Beer City.
A couple of days ago against Phoenix, Mobley had 12 points and 5 rebounds, and hey, 5 assists. Eric Mobley.
Lindsey Hunter, way strong on that 3 try. Can't fault him. He bagged his first 3.
Mobley, of course, got 37 minutes in that game against Phoenix because, as we mentioned, Reeves only 11 minutes because of the foul trouble.
I think it's a good deal for Vancouver. It's a trade for the future. You got a young center who may or may not amount to much, but at least he's young. Mobley in traffic. Blocked by Ratliff.
Oh, he's got to be crazy to think he's going to dunk right in front of the hoop over a guy like Ratliff with the long arms and the good timing. You got to arc that baby, let it go. 22 blocks for Theo on the season.
And he stuffed it almost halfway through the second quarter. It is a 38-26 Piston lead.
The family of the future will have many hundreds of television channels.
Gee, mister, won't that be confusing?
Not with this, a video guide. It'll let them see what's on 7 days into the future, or what's on right now. It'll give them instant news and sports scores. And with just one touch, they'll even be able to tape record their favorite television shows. Don't forget the tape.
So what do you think they'd call this video guide?
Video guide. It's about time.
Joe Dumars for your 31 Metro Detroit Ford dealers.
So what's my idea of a winning team? Guys will go all out to get the job done. You know, do whatever it takes. True pros in every sense of the word, like your Metro Detroit Ford dealers.
Your Metro Detroit Ford dealers welcome Joe Dumars to their winning team. The only place where you'll find 5 of America's very best.
Make that 6. See your Metro Detroit Ford dealer today. Now that's my kind of team.
Almost halfway through quarter number 2, the Pistons leading by 12. Vancouver's not been able to get under 10 after a 20-point deficit, 23-3 to start the ball game. Don't forget, Detroit Pistons basketball and passports brought to you in part by Video Guide, the on-TV program guide with news, weather, and sports. It's about time. Well, Michael Crom, one of our replacement officials tonight, has had to make 2 straight 24-second violation calls. And I mean, he is rat-a-tat-tatting on the top of his noggin. I mean, hard to get everybody's attention. He's going to give himself a headache.
Now, is that, look at that. That is a menacing look from the officials. Here's Theo. Now, Mobley, he's got to let that ball go. He's got to finger roll it, so to speak, over the top of Theo's outstretched arm. You're never going to get a dunk that close to the basket over a shot blocker.
He knows it now. Played against Theo, of course, in the preseason when the Bucks faced the Pistons at the Palace. Dumars tries a 3. Joe front iron. Rebound squirts out to Grant Hill. And a reset shot clock. Grant thought about going inside to Leckner, who now goes away. Clear out for Grant. Nothing happened. Dumars tries to adjust into a shot. It's Leckner in the post. He got it. Eric Leckner kind of squeezed the air out of the ball as he let that one pop home. And Leckner has a couple of field goals. 40-26. Ooh. Mobley wiped out Lindsey Hunter.
Ooh. That's the kind where you dislocate the shoulder if you don't know it's coming.
Yeah, that's a double. Watch this thing.
Look at this.
Bang.
Just crunches him.
Yeah, Mobley's put together pretty solidly, boy. He's a big fella, but pretty muscular.
Well, that's where defensive communication is so very important, because if your teammate is yelling, screen right, screen left, then you brace yourself and you know it's coming. But it's when you don't know it's coming that you can really get hurt out on the floor.
Technical foul now on Brian Winters. Brian, who was a 2-time All-Star during his playing days, primarily with the Milwaukee Bucks. Remember, he went to Milwaukee from L.A. in the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar deal.
Yes, indeed.
Dumars will shoot the tee. Joe gets his first point. Very well respected around the NBA is Brian Winters, but much like Brendan Malone in Toronto, he's got to be given time, and they can't expect for miracles here in the first couple of years. Pistons by 15 now as the inbound. Back to a cut inside, it's Grant, and he goes down hard. Grant says he's fine as he steps the line.
Little eye contact between those two. Edwards up top and smartly comes down, make sure he doesn't give up a 3-point opportunity. But what has happened, Fred, you had Detroit go on a tremendous run. Then you had an answer from Vancouver. Now both teams have kind of settled down, settled in. And Detroit looking to just stay steady at this particular point and not let this game become a dogfight. You don't want to lose the advantage or the effect that you have of coming out with a 23-3 run.
That's for sure. Allen Houston checks back in. Well, Grant fell that time and couldn't help himself, but he's been talking to Arnie Cantor, the strength coach, about not falling. And Arnie has asked her, how do you fall so much? He says, I don't know, it's just a force of habit. But that time, he just went down in a heap with no chance of staying on his feet.
One thing I can say about falling, for instance, trying to draw an offensive charge. In college, you almost have to fall to be convincing enough to get the whistle from the official. In the NBA, as you look at Arnie Kander right there, you do not have to necessarily fall. Right. If you establish that position, the officials are going to give you the charge, or give your opponent the offensive charge.
But I think in Grant's case, Arnie's just trying to keep his feet on the floor, because it takes a lot of energy, as you know, Greg, to get yourself off the floor, and then you lose valuable time in running situations, whatever it might be. Sure. Lindsey Hunter picks off the rebound. Pistons with 3-on-2 numbers. Allen Houston stops at a dime. Rebound knocked out of there by Harvey, but to Grant Hill. 42-26 is the Pistons lead.
We should also note that Vancouver last in the league rebounding-wise, thus to come as no surprise that the Pistons are getting a lot of second opportunities and third opportunities.
Eric Lechner, after the ball had been blocked on Grant's shot, and Lechner has 6. Grant thought he was fouled, didn't get the whistle. So the Pistons, to their credit, have just about rebuilt that lead back to 20. It's 18.
And Lechner contributing, and will continue to do so as long as he can stay out of foul trouble. He still has the 2, and there's Mobley going up again.
Well, Ratliff again denied the dunk, but this time had to foul him to do it.
But this time, you don't have Mobley standing flat-footed in front of the basket trying to dunk over the top of somebody. He's moving, and of course, Ratliff had to come from help side. So yeah, you go with that. You go strong, you pick up a foul. There's a difference between this play and the last one. I'll take Ratliff 9 out of 10 times on the other one.
Plus, you see Mobley at the free throw line. He's an adventure, although he hits the first. So make him earn the 2 at the line as opposed to the dunk, and Ratliff with a good play. Leo's first foul. And Mobley nails them both. 44-28. 16-point game as Vancouver traps. Broken easily with a pass. Near steal by Martin. He's quick. He better be if he's 5'11", right, Greg?
You better be quick if you're 5'11". Absolutely right.
Down deep to Theo. Goes baseline. Harvey put up a stop sign. Theo with a running hook that didn't go. Mobley lost the rebound, but it goes off Ratliff, and it's Vancouver possession.
That's funny. If you're 5'11" and slow, then
yeah, I don't think you're going to last.
Basketball's not your game. Not at this level, anyway.
Martin looking for somebody to come off the screen, looking for Byron Scott. Bounce feed to Chris King. He'll give him the jump shot all night long. That's right. Really put a hole in the backboard. Grant Hill, whoa, even too tall for Theo.
And Grant very disappointed in himself. I think he knew right away that ball had helium in it, and trying to catch Theo Ratliff running out in stride a little too high.
Anthony Avent checks back in as Harvey sits down. Well, at Piston home games, you'll see Doug Collins ride Grant pretty hard, but Grant's the kind of player that actually goes up to Doug and says, look, stay on me, make me a better player. I mean, there's so much in sync. It's scary sometimes, and how they understand each other in such a short period of time of being together as player and coach. Loose ball foul on Vancouver. It's on Mobley. Thorpe checks back in. But keep in mind, Doug, of course, has known Grant for 3 years, with son Chris now in his senior year at Duke. So, you know, they've talked a lot of basketball in the past, certainly not in this relationship, but there's an understanding that goes much deeper than a first-year hiring for Collins working with Grant. Screen and roll, Gillen Houston. And readjusted and knocked it down. It's a 2. He has 11 points. That was a tough little shot. Almost an aftermath. 46-28.
King obviously not reading his scouting report, giving Allen Houston much too much room on the side over there.
And then the out-of-control drive by Martin with the turnover. Each team with 6 TOs so far. Pistons by 18. Grant cut off by King. Houston called for it. Shake and bake move inside. Puts it down. Well, Allen very good at hang time in the lane. And usually good things happen when he puts it on the deck. Houston with 13. So Houston and Hunter, the backcourt starters for the Pistons, have combined for 26 of the 48 points. It's a timeout. 2:57 to go in the first half. The Pistons have regained that 20-point pad.
Joe Dumars for your 31 Metro Detroit Ford dealers.
To take on my team, Ford Windstar is one safe call.
With over 40 standard safety features, including dual airbags and four-wheel anti-lock brakes, Ford Windstar has been designed with safety in mind, not to mention an incredibly quiet ride. And now get $1,000 RCO cash back on Ford Windstar for a lease payment as low as $249 a month for 24 months.
For my family, Ford Windstar is safe and sound. See your Metro Detroit Ford dealer today.
National's got low weekend rates that'll make people want to hit the road.
Make your weekend a national holiday. Call your travel agent or 1-800-CAR-RENT.
Star rocks. And so do our seats.
See the Titans play Wayne State for the city championship on Wednesday, December 20th at Cobo Arena. For tickets to Titan men's and women's basketball, call 313-993-1700.
Late stages of quarter number 2, the Pistons lead it 48-28 here over the hometown Grizzlies. Pistons basketball brought to you in part by Fago Beverages. When was the last time you had a good slug of Red Puff? All right, Allen Houston and Grant Hill, different types of drivers. Grant, of course, the lightning bolt slasher to the holes, where Allen able to readjust and contort his body and still get off tough shots in traffic.
Well, you notice Allen Houston jumping into the defender, putting his body right into the defender's chest, therefore negating any possibility of a shot block. He sort of immobilized the defender. Allen gives you that look like he's going to take it all the way to the basket, but then he pulls up and tries to readjust right there in the middle of the key.
And he's got such a soft shot in there that usually he'll get it to fall home, as good scorers seem to have that feathery touch. Now see if the Pistons can kind of hang on to this margin for the rest of the half. Offhanded pass by Anthony to Byron Scott. He gets his first shot.
You know, as I look at the roster of the Vancouver Grizzlies, I got to think that this is most tough on Byron Scott. As you indicated, playoff contender every single year. And always a valuable contributor. I mean, you look at Anthony and you say, well, hey, this guy has been released from bondage. He's, you know, surely he hates losing, but this has to be a lot of relief, a lot more comfortable for him. But Scott has been a valuable contributor on whichever team he's been playing on, and to be in this situation has to be particularly hard on him.
Yeah, last 2 years in Indiana, Allen Houston hit the leaning jumper. It's 50-30. In fact, Scott was very critical of his teammates in a recent loss to Miami, in which he accused them of being quitters. He says not all of them, but some of them have. And Scott taking matters into his own hands now with a couple of straight jumpers.
And as you said, with his 3 championship rings, obviously he is the most respected player on this roster. They listen when he speaks.
You would hope so. Lindsey Hunter tried one. Byron Scott with a save. Lindsey rushed that one a little bit. Up the floor, Anthony gets past Otis Thorpe. Scott thought about it. Down gets off the shot. Missed the roller. Rebound to Theo Rattler for the body on Abel. Well, she not allowing him to get the rebound. Rattler forced out of his position by Abel. Houston with it against Scott. No looker inside to Rattler. 5 on the shot clock. Theo jumps it home. Theo's first 2. 50-34. He's got some pretty good range. And once he learns where his shots are most comfortable and where he can get them off in this league, and I think the Pistons might be able to get 10-12 points out of him down the road per night.
No, I'd be very disappointed if Theo didn't become exactly that type of player. Thing I like about him right now, he's just so active and all over the place, getting valuable experience here.
Joe with 4 dishes so far. Big Country's going to check back in. Real confidently nailing it from 18. Still Vancouver ball. Inside a minute to play here in the half. And the Pistons by 20. Scott called for it. He wanted it. Gets a screen from Avent, rolls. Scott to the hole. Nice move, missed a shot. That's what you want Byron Scott to do, is put the ball on the deck, because he will burn you if he squares up and is given an open J. But that time, not a bad drive.
Byron still has some quickness. You know, I was a member of the San Diego Clippers when we drafted Byron Scott with the #4 pick and traded him to Los Angeles for Norm Nixon.
Swen Nader was a part of that deal, too, wasn't
Swen Nader went over to the Lakers.
Yeah, that was not a Phi Beta Kappa deal by the Clippers. not that they haven't made a few. But that was really the missing piece to that Laker puzzle.
Yeah.
Because it gave him a 2-guard score to go with Magic Johnson and just filled in the hole. 52-33 now. Ratliff with a save. Plenty of time here. Doesn't have to hurry. Thorpe back out to Grant, who had called for it. King made him a passer instead of a shooter. And a double dribble gives it back to Vancouver.
If Doug Collins yelling to Grant Hill, hey, you picked your dribble up too quickly. You got to keep that dribble alive and keep your options open.
And that's something else that Grant and the coach have been talking about. In other words, picking up his dribble. Nowhere to go then. Reeves in the post. Illegal defense on Allen Houston. That'll put him at the line. So Scott will shoot the tee. 34 years of age.
That technical resulting from the fact that it was within the last 24 seconds of the quarter. So Vancouver now with an opportunity to take the last shot of the half.
Anthony with the yo-yo dribble. Joe Dumars overplaying him to his left side. That's his strong hand. He rarely dribbles right. Dumars with a forearm to fight his way through the screen. And that will put Anthony at the line.
Now Doug Collins going to reinsert Terry Mills here for his outside shooting capability. Though he has 3 fouls, but Detroit now will get the ball offensively, so should be no threat of picking up another foul.
Well, 8.6, plenty of time. Terry doesn't have to heave it from 55 feet as he did in Denver. I asked him if he ever had a shot like that before go down for me. He said, yeah, one time with the Detroit AAU team over in Europe. He says, I think we beat a team from Turkey. At the buzzer, he said they were down 1. That counted as 2. And his Detroit team won it. 18-point game. As Anthony has one more coming here. Anthony gets it to roll. They certainly have contained him. He averages 16 points a game. Ran in the hurry up. Sizes up Harvey. Houston. Driving. Blocked by Harvey. Still time for Lindsay. A 3. Off the back iron. Almost. But all in all, a pretty darn good half for the Pistons. They led by 20 early. Vancouver cut it down to 10. And then the Pistons bumped it back to 20 before we got to this margin at halftime. 52-35. Stay tuned. We'll check on the scores around the NBA. And don't forget to chat with Theo Ratliff coming up here at halftime from Vancouver.
I'm a oomph person. I need the oomph.
Lisa, you picked the 4Runner at the Toyota Ride and Decide. Why?
Very comfortable, very smooth. Solid. Listen to that. Lots of room in the back. Ooh. Major room.
Why did you pick 4Runner over Explorer?
The 4Runner was much smoother, much more responsive, much more comfortable, fit in it better, have all my toys with me without compromising any space or comfort.
And the winner is?
Definitely the 4Runner. Definitely.
Take a ride and decide for yourself at your Toyota dealer today.
Saturday night, it's Mookie Blaylock with the Plastic Men, Stacey Augmon, Steve Smith, and Coach Basketball Lenny Wilkins as the high-flying Atlanta Hawks soar into the Palace. Wednesday, December 13th, Eldon Campbell, Mr. Hollywood, Cedric Ceballos, Vlade Divac, and Nick the Flash Van Exel, and the rest of the LA Lakers invade the Palace as Showdown meets Motown. Tickets available till tip-off, or call the Palace at 377-0100.
Nobody does it like you, the way that you do. Nobody's got the power to please me.
You can't see deep down embedded dirt, but now it can't hide from the new Hoover Dirt Finder. It electronically senses embedded dirt, so Hoover's powerful cleaning effectiveness can get what you might have missed. You'll know it's clean when the light turns green.
Hoover, nobody does it like you.
The family of the future will have many hundreds of television channels.
Gee, mister, won't that be confusing?
Not with this, a video guide. It'll let them see what's on 7 days into the future, or what's on right now. It'll give them instant news and sports scores. And with just one touch, they'll even be able to tape record their favorite television shows. Don't forget the tape.
So what do you think they'd call this video guide?
Video guide. It's about time.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the NBA. Well, glad you're with us here at Vancouver at the General Motors Place. 52-35, Pistons by 17. Fred McLeod and Greg Kessler with you. Pistons with their best defensive quarter of this young season, holding the, I was going to say the Canucks, the Grizzlies, to just 4 field goals in this quarter and 25% shooting. And, you know, on one hand you could say, big deal, it's against an expansion team, but hey, this game counts just like all the other 81 games in your schedule. And when you have not won in a long time on the road, as the Pistons have not, 17 straight going back to last season, Doug Collins would love to have a repeat in the second half and get out of here.
Yeah, right. You know, in terms of being ready to play, one team was, one team wasn't. And when Vancouver finally realized that game time was 7 p.m. instead of 7:30, they were already down 20 points. But Detroit was able to weather the storm. They finally did wake up, had a little surge of their own, but Detroit handled that and then got back in control, and that's where they are right now with the 17-point lead. But I think they set the tone early, Fred, when 12 points into the game for Detroit, all 5 players had scored.
Who knows, maybe Vancouver getting caught looking ahead because Toronto comes to town on Saturday, which will be their big game, their first ever against the Raptors during the regular season. And I'm sure local ice in both basketball communities looking forward to that game, even though it's just a battle of 2 expansion clubs.
Yeah, but you can see a little animosity, maybe a little rivalry already brewing, because I can't remember which Toronto Raptor player it was, but the comment was already, hey, we're Toronto, we're expansion, yes, but we're not the Vancouver Grizzlies. Go figure.
Getting cocky already. All right, let's check other scores around the NBA on our Hoover out-of-town board. A lot of finals, of course. San Antonio has beaten Atlanta at the Omni, 104-102, and the Spurs quietly playing very good basketball without Dennis Rodman. In the fourth quarter, Milwaukee trying to hang on against the Clips. It's a 97-90 lead for the Bucks at home. Denver in the fourth quarter, leading Utah. That's at the Delta Center. That's a surprise. It's a 5-point game. I would think Abdul Rauf must be back in the lineup, judging by that score. Toronto, speaking of the Raptors, down south a little bit on I-5, leading Portland. Vancouver has already won there on opening night, and Toronto's trying to do it the same. Boy, there'd be a few boos in that building if that happens. 52-45. That's a second quarter score. Here, it's 52-35, the visitors from the Motor City. Stay tuned. We'll be meeting up close and personal. Theo Ratliff, some interesting comments from the shy but very competent rookie from Wyoming. You'll meet him coming up next.
I look at you and I see myself.
I look at you and I see my world.
As long as we're together, time can't touch us.
Eternity for Men. Calvin Klein. This holiday edition, a $77 value, now yours for a $55 suggested retail price.
Sprite? Brad, he'll drink Sprite.
If you want to make it to the NBA, practice. If you want a refreshing drink, obey your thirst. Sprite.
Travel arranged through Northwest Airlines, introducing the comfort, choice, and control of World Business Class, only from global partners KLM and Northwest Airlines.
Armatron All-Sport watches with analog digital timekeeping, water-resistant, rugged good looks, outstanding quality, and tremendous value. Armatron.
Welcome back to General Motors Place here at halftime. It's a pleasure to welcome one of the more likable rookies that has come to Motown in a long time, and Theo Ratliff, although Grant Hill's probably say, hey, what about me? I was a rookie last year. Everybody liked me, but it seems like everybody who meets you enjoys your infectious attitude. And has it always been this way, that you're just a likable guy because you're yourself?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I've always tried to be myself no matter what, you know, no matter if I have success or if I have a little failure. So, you know, that's always been my personality.
You know, success and failure always accompanies rookies because you're learning this game of basketball at a whole different level. Has it been frustrating at times to, you know, maybe have one good game and then the next game you kind of drop down and you're wondering, well, it's almost like a roller coaster ride. Am I good enough to play? Gee, yes, I'm good enough to play, and then it knocks you back down again.
There's no doubt in my mind that I know that I'm good enough to play. But, you know, it's just that, you know, sometimes, just like you said, when you do have good games and you want to come out and play like that every night, but, you not knowing, you know, how to come out and do that every night, you know, being a rookie, you know, that comes with it. So, you know, I just take the wounds, you know, and go with it.
Does it help, Theo, in the fact that Don Reed and Lou Rowe are also rookies, so you can kind of share experiences? I mean, this is your first West Coast trip. People could tell you what it's like about, you know, different time zones and playing 4 games in 6 nights, but until you experience it, you don't know what it is about. But does it help to have some friendship there?
Yes, definitely. You know, me, Don, and Lou, you know, we coming in here together, so we going through basically the same thing. So, you know, I think that's a big help, you know, it's like, because we can relate to each other. And, you know, also with Grant being a rookie last year, you know, he can, you know, also help us out with that.
Because Grant has talked about, and I know Joe talked to him about this last year, getting your rest. And you can't overestimate that. Have you done a good job with that, or could you do even better?
Yes, I've done a pretty good job with, you know, getting my rest. You know, I'm not a sleeping person anyway. I don't like to sleep, you know, 10, 12 hours a day. You know, it's, you know, if I get 6, 7 hours of sleep, I'm fine. So, you know, that haven't been a problem for me.
You know, Doug is very demonstrative with you because he believes so much. He thinks you can be a star in this league. Sometimes he has to chew you pretty good, as he would in any rookie situation. I'm sure with Don and Lou too. But is it hard to take that, or do you say, I know if he's yelling at me, it's for a good reason because he knows I can be a good player?
Yes, you know, it's always hard, you know, when you have someone yelling at you. But, you know, I know, you know, just like you said, it's all in, you know, in goodwill, and, you know, him wanting me to be the best player that I can be. So, you know, I just, you know, kind of just brush it off. And sometimes he says I'm ignoring him, but, you know, it's...
You wouldn't do that, would
you? You know, it's like, you know, you just have to keep on going and, you know, and just stay strong, stay positive, and everything works out.
Because you know he played in this league. He was a 4-time All-Star, knows the game. But basically and I'm sure he's put his arm around you from time to time to tell you what he thinks about you. So deep down, that has to mean more than anything right now, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely. You know, I know he's sincere, you know, when he comes to me and talk to me personally about, you know, the type of player that he think I can be. And, you know, and I just, you know, take it all in stride and just go out and try to work to better myself every time out.
And you have to be patient, don't you?
Oh, yes, definitely have to have a lot of patience because, you know, he's just not going to just spring up and be, you know, an all-star. So, you know, I'm just going to continue to try to work on being a better player.
Well, continued success, because we've certainly seen more than just scratching of the surface in your game. I think a lot of people in Detroit are excited about what kind of player you can be, and I'm sure in a matter of time it'll all fall into place.
All right, thank you.
Bill Ratliff, our guest here at halftime. Stay tuned. We'll have the stats for you and get the third quarter rolling from Vancouver after this.
Good news for those of you who can't get enough of the refreshing, big, bold taste of Coca-Cola Classic. Now you can get it in a new, longer-lasting 1-liter original Coca-Cola bottle. Coca-Cola Classic 1 liter. It's real bigger.
Must be the new guy.
Hi, I'm Steve Garagiola, reminding you that Live on Pass is the only place to be for all the scores, the news, and all the highlights, the sports information that you want to know. In fact, it's the only one-hour sports report that you're going to find. We're talking about the topics that Michigan sports fans are talking about. And besides, you never know what sports celebrity is going to show up and take your calls. It's Live on Pass every weeknight from 6 to 7 o'clock, only on Pass.
Red Wings hockey on Pass Sports.
Look out again. Oh, boy. There it is. Crash and bang. He's in on both. Big score.
See the most Red Wings games on Pass Sports, the source for Michigan sports.
Boy, this line just keeps on rolling.
The Pistons enjoying a lead of 17 here at halftime. They outscored the Grizzlies 22-13 in quarter number 2. We'll look at the team stats and get the third quarter underway from GM Place after this.
If you love the Detroit Pistons, Target's Fantasy Sweepstakes can get you closer to the action than you've ever dreamed, because you can win exciting fantasies, including a chance to announce the starting lineup or be the ball boy or ball girl. So come to Target. Nah, we can't get you on the team, but it's pretty darn close.
Steve Hammond took the Toyota Ride and Decide Challenge.
I just drove the Ford Ranger. Not bad. I want to try the Tacoma now.
How's Tacoma feel?
It's a lot roomier than I thought. It has pretty good headroom. And I have a lot more leg room here. Can I get on it?
Go for it.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot more powerful. It handles better, too. It's quiet. Drives like a car.
What would you give the Toyota Tacoma?
I'd give it a 9, easily.
And for a 10?
To own it.
Take a ride, then you decide. See your Toyota dealer today.
Looking for a great gift idea?
Chia.
Chia Pet, the pottery that grows. And there's a new guy in town. Chia Head. It's easy. Just soak your chia overnight. Spread the seeds, keep it watered, and watch it grow. Grow a whole collection of fun with all these Chia Pets. And Chia Head, too.
Chia.
The perfect gift for everyone on your list. Chia Pets and Chia Head, the pottery that grows.
The Chia Pet's available at Arbor Drug, Kmart, Meijer, and Frank's. Makes a great gift.
Well, the Pistons would love to add another half like the first one and get out of here with their first road victory of the season. And with this kind of shooting, they certainly should be able to do it, Greg. It's 53%, led by Allen Houston's 5 for 7.
And plus, Fred, they've got good balance. 20 of their points came in the paint. So they've got some variety going, and that's what you have to have, I think, especially on the road to be successful. You see Reeves, 10 points for Vancouver. He looked pretty good in the first half.
Yes, he did. Rebounding, look at Grant Hill, 7 already. He has 5 assists and 9 points, so you can't help but think about another triple-double possibility. We'll monitor that as the second half unfolds. What a great improvement Grant has made since his rookie year in rebounding. Averaging 9 a game now for a small forward. That's just unheard of in this league.
A small forward who does so many other things, too. I mean, he's responsible for balance and ball distribution as well as getting his 20 points a game. He's got to be able to do that for the Pistons to win. Let me tell you something, Fred. First 4 or 5 minutes could be very critical for the Pistons. They could put this team away very early here with a start similar to the one they had in the first quarter.
Grant with good pace on that pass into the post to Thorpe, and he was fouled by Avon. Now Grant coming over to Eric Lettner, explaining to him about where he should have been on that play, perhaps.
All those things are going well for the Pistons, and yes, they are halfway to their 27 assists. They had 13 assists in the first half.
You know, Grant is never going to be the kind of vocal, grab you by the jugular kind of leader that Isaiah Thomas was, and there probably aren't going to be many more in this game. It was almost a different era, a different personality, but still it'll be interesting to see once he really takes over this ball club as his team and becomes even a little bit more vocal.
You know who he could be like? Julius Erving, who was never real vocal, but unquestionably the leader, and especially late in games, you knew where the ball was going.
Exactly. I think we'd take some of that. Blue Edwards had it consumed, but there's a foul.
That kind of gives you an idea of the type of person, the type of player, the type of presence that Grant Hill has already early in his career. You're mentioning him in the same breath as Isaiah Thomas and Julius Erving.
And you're right about Doc. He was, you'd never hear him say much, but everybody on that Sixer ball club just, I don't want to say kowtowed to him, but certainly knew from where he spoke and listened to everything he said.
Not only on that team, around the league.
That's for sure.
He had a presence.
Still has it. 54-36. It's a lead of 18 for the Detroiters. Pick and roll. Leitner rolled inside, didn't get it. Lindsey bolts inside, readjusts and puts it down. Nice drive there by Lindsey as again he finished.
You know, I watched him that time, and it seemed like he was really uncaring of what the defense was going to do. He made his adjustment, kept his eyes on the basket, and that's why Lindsey was able to finish that shot. I think all too often he makes his move, keeps his eye on the defense, at the very last second looks at the basket. That time you see he got into the body of the defender, kept his eye on the glass, and made an easy shot.
And didn't shift in midair, just went up at it. Anthony off a big wide screen from Ada. And Greg Anthony with his second field goal, first two-pointer tonight. And Anthony has 7. Keep in mind he averages 16 points a game for this club. Houston had a tough time getting into the post, now does. Edwards on a double team. Grant Hill tries a long one. Short. And rebound away then. Grizzlies down 18 with the ball. Reeves called for it, in deep against Leitner, missed the roller, rebound Thorpe. Otis with his third board of the night.
Big Country Bryant Reeves needs an Arnie Kander in the summertime. I don't know if they've got one in Vancouver, but needs to improve his quickness, his agility, his balance and foot speed out on the floor. But I like the fact that he's getting very good position and has a nice soft touch.
Anthony drew a bump and a bucket. Anthony with 9. Well, as much as Arnie has enjoyed the last day and a half out here, first time he's been out there, I don't think the Pistons are going to loan him to the Grizzlies during the offseason. 56-40. Grant Hill spinning against Blue Edwards. Illegal defense against the white shirts. In fact, Arnie put yours truly and Chris McCoskey, the Pistons beat writer for the News, threw a little workout at the hotel this morning. It's fascinating, some of the stuff he knows, and you know that from working out with him all last summer.
Yeah. Every time you come in, he's got something different, but it's effective. I was convinced when he put 9 pounds of muscle on me, you're talking about a guy that could not gain weight.
That's right. Where was he 15 years
10
ago?
10 years ago, yeah, 10.
Yeah, right. Grant sizing up King, goes inside, puts it up, and draws the foul. Yeah, this day and age, of course, of physical strength and conditioning coaches. But the reason the Pistons love this guy so much is he does virtually everything with body weight and not a lot of iron and not a lot of muscle building. In fact, Allen Houston, during the lockout last summer, basically went back to what he was comfortable with, you know, curls with dumbbells. And Arnie said, why were you doing that? He said, well, just what I felt like doing, it's what I'm comfortable with. He says, what about all the stuff we worked on last year? And he said, well, I didn't have you with me to push me through the workout, and so I just went back to my old ways. But he certainly has given a new meaning to basketball fitness. And the Pistons have been responding. And I think over time you'll see guys with less injuries on this ball club too.
Yeah.
17-point game.
I can't wait to see what he does with Theo Rattler.
Absolutely. He was very strong and stronger than he looks. Anthony at 3.
Okay, Vancouver now threatening to try to make another little run here. And this is what I said. This thing could go one way or the other. You let Vancouver get a couple of consecutive baskets, their confidence grows, maybe they can make it a game. Whereas Detroit, if they could do the same, well, they put this team away.
Grant Hill against King, goes inside hard, offensive foul. That's a tough one. Anthony looked awfully deep when he drew the charge. Almost looked like he was under the bucket. Doug Collins is barking at Michael Crom on the call. Watch it.
Oh, yeah, he was moving all the way. Pistons did not get that call, a judgment call. But I have no problem with this drive because this is what I want my my slashing forward to do here. And I want him to finish.
Yeah, Anthony definitely got over there late.
And on most nights, he'll get that call. That should have been a three-point opportunity.
Lechner trying to trap Anthony. Finds the open man, King. Back to the point guard. Hand in his face, 3, and he still hit it.
Oh, he's lighting it up. He is feeling it right now in Vancouver, just like that, down by 11.
Anthony with 15. He's knocked down a couple of triples back-to-back.
Detroit's got to go back to the movement, people and ball movement that they had in that first quarter.
Thorpe, good feed to Grant, who stuffs it in a foul. There's a great look by Thorpe inside.
There it is.
As Grant cut to the hole and then finished with authority.
Sorry about that, Fred. I just put about half a bucket of popcorn almost in your lap. Got excited on that play right there.
Yes, you did.
But again, ball movement, people movement, and you get a high percentage shot. Three-point opportunity to boot. I might add, the popcorn's very good in Vancouver.
I just wanted one piece, not the whole bucket.
Sorry about that. At least it doesn't have butter on it.
That's right. Could have been worse. 13-point gap here. Blue Edwards. Cut off by Houston. Big country. Turns in lane. Missed it. He's more comfortable working on the left block where he can come in for the kind of a sky hook or a half hook. That time turned to his right shoulder, which he's not customarily effective at, but he drew the foul.
Well, that's one of the things he'll need to work on in the offseason. A little left-hand baby hook, right-hand baby hook across the lane for when teams take away that little turnaround jump shot that you like to use. But I think that he, again, a slow starter in college, will be a slow starter at this level. But I still see him being a guy that can score 14 points a game. May never be an all-star.
Tell you what, Big Country better stay away from the sunshine in Phoenix and in LA. You see his legs? I don't think he's seen a lot of sun lately.
Pale, pale.
Grant sits down with his 4th personal foul, so that's a problem. He'll have to sit for a while. As Reeves makes it a 59-48 ball game. Vancouver continues to chip away. Reeves now with a dozen. Houston back to Lindsay. Bolts inside. He is nailed. I mean, wiped out big time by Avent.
Gets right back up, though.
Lindsay is a tough kid.
Yeah. That's going inside, and that's coming away with dividends. Now, you know you're going to get hammered. Look at this. You jump into Avent. He's taking care of the middle. He puts you on your backside like a good big man should do. But you get up, you knock your free throws down, and then you say, hey, I'm coming right back in there next time.
Good clean foul, but Lindsay says, here's 2 right at you, big guy. And Lindsay has 17, a nice ball game for him tonight. He's had 4 rebounds as well. 13-point differential.
So you knew someone was going to surge. Unfortunately for the Pistons, it was Vancouver that did it first. Now the Pistons were just trying to hang in there, absorb the enthusiasm and electricity that they have right now before regaining control of the game. That guy Anthony continues to have the hot hand.
Boy, that one he just threw up there, dribbling with the right hand and got it to rattle home. He's got 17.
Joe Dumars totally in playmaking move tonight. I don't think he's attempted more than 2 shots in this game.
Allen thought about 3. illegal defense. That's a break for the Pistons against Vancouver. It's on Anthony, who has hit all 5 of his shots here in the second half. Timeout Grizzlies, almost halfway through the third quarter. Pistons lead it by 11. We'll be back.
Joe Dumars for your 31 Metro Detroit Ford dealers.
So what's my idea of a winning team? Guys who go all out to get the job done. You know, do whatever it takes. True pros in every sense of the word, like your Metro Detroit Ford dealers.
Your Metro Detroit Ford dealers welcome Joe Dumars to their winning team. The only place where you'll find 5 of America's very best.
Make that 6. See your Metro Detroit Ford dealer today. Now that's my kind of team.
Craig quickly thrown down for a loss. Robert Porcher on the sack.
Any player can make one great play, but great players do it game after game after game. That's also what makes one HMO great. Season after season, you know the wellness plan will bring you more than quality health care. There are always great new benefits, benefits no one else offers. If you want the HMO that delivers more time after time, you should join the wellness plan.
Welcome back to Vancouver, British Columbia, where the crowd's starting to get back into it. The home team down by 11. They trailed here at halftime by 17. Pistons basketball and passports brought to you in part by Hoover. Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody.
Well, the Grizzlies, they owe a great deal of gratitude to this man, Anthony, for keeping them in the game with shots like that. That's a tough, tough shot. He had definitely defensive resistance there, but still able to put it down.
Anthony only had 5 points at halftime, but he's had a 12-point quarter. 12 of the 15 for Vancouver, as a matter of fact, to be specific, or 10 of the last 14, whichever you prefer. The other 3 points for the Bears have come from the free throw line from Edwards and Reeves. Joe Dumars will shoot the technical free throw off the illegal D. Joe with his second point. Scott checks back in for Vancouver. Had 6 first half points. Hunter in the post. Now goes away, tries the back screen for Avent. Wipes out Anthony in the process and picks up the foul.
Well, Anthony showed some savvy on that play. He set Lindsey up for that. I mean, he knew that Lindsey Hunter was not posting up with an idea of getting the basketball. So he denied him access across the lane, forced Lindsey to push him, and the official was right there on the play.
And a little bit of a flop didn't hurt. Edwards Stripper. Whoa, way off. Doesn't look like a 48% shooter from three-point land on that one. Thorpe out high for the screen. Joe back row 2. 10 on the shot clock. Dumars left-handed dribbling, poked away by Anthony. Racehorse with Lindsey Hunter. Takes him inside. Puts it up. No. Scott with a tap. This is what Vancouver wants to do, is get into a transition game. Pistons have kept them pretty much into a half-court struggle tonight. But the Grizzlies back within 10. Full timeout. Comes with 5:54 to go here in the third quarter. Pistons have to readjust. We'll be back.
The family of the future will have many hundreds of television channels.
Gee, mister, won't that be confusing?
Not with this, a video guide. It'll let them see what's on 7 days into the future, or what's on right now. It'll give them instant news and sports scores. And with just one touch, they'll even be able to tape record their favorite television shows. Don't forget the tape.
So what do you think they'd call this video guide?
Video guide. It's about time.
Joe Dumars for your 31 Metro Detroit Ford dealers.
To take on my team, Ford Windstar is one safe call.
With over 40 standard safety features, including dual airbags and four-wheel anti-lock brakes, Ford Windstar has been designed with safety in mind, not to mention an incredibly quiet ride. And now get $1,000 RCO cash back on Ford Windstar for a lease payment as low as $249 a month for 24 months.
For my family, Ford Windstar is safe and sound. See a Metro Detroit Ford dealer today.
Well, the road trip continues tomorrow in the Bay Area. 10:30 Michigan time as the Pistons will take on the Golden State Warriors, a team at the basement of the Pacific Division at 6-11. But certainly with a lot of talent. Our first look at Maryland's Joe Smith tomorrow night, 10:30 here on Passport. Grizzlies have scored 16 of the last 22 to get themselves back in it, Greg.
I think that's the reason why Doug Collins called that timeout. I mean, this little surge by Vancouver lasting a little longer than he likes, and Pistons have been on the ropes throughout this quarter.
Keep in mind, Grant Hill on the bench with 4 personal fouls. First time he's been in foul trouble in a few games. Anthony poked it away from behind. Anthony has definitely stepped up his game in this half. Not just the scoring, but defensive pressure as well. First played on those great UNLV teams of Jerry Tarkanian, a team that lived on defense and transition. Thorpe looking for Leckner, nice cut inside, and Jordan squirts out. We have a foul on Reeves, or is it Avon? It's actually on Avon.
That was a late call, but you know what I think was happening here? There's the foul right there.
Yeah, it should have been on Reeves.
Yeah, now if he puts this down, Eric Leckner, then they play on. But when he misses it, you have to feel like, hey, that foul affected the miss. Actually, he was fouled 3 times on that play.
Yeah, Avon got him too, so they choose Avon for the foul. But you're right, Greg. That's why the late whistle. Something we usually see from the veteran officials, not these guys.
Hey, well, you know, these guys, they're almost like, you know, college freshmen. You know, at a certain point, you're no longer a freshman, you're a sophomore.
Right.
So these guys are probably in that same mode. They're probably going to be very good officials someday at this level.
Leckner misses the first of 2. Antonio Harvey checks back in. Kind of hobbling as he does. I don't know if his foot fell asleep over there on the bench or what. Avon sits down. Leckner's 71%er coming into the ball game. Missed them both. That's the kind of thing that gets the crowd into the ball game even more. And now Vancouver can cut it below double figures. Harvey called for it. Leckner back on it. Harvey in the post. Methodically missing.
Solid defense by Leckner. Gave no ground, and really Antonio Harvey lost in the post that time. Didn't know what he wanted to do with the basketball.
Dumars gave it up. Joe's only taken 1 shot tonight, which is sort of surprising. Hunter cut off by the left-handed. Defense there by Anthony. Illegal defense against Vancouver. And we'll get another technical free throw for Joe Dumars.
This is why I maintain you got to have moves in the post. Go back to that play a moment ago with Antonio Harvey backing in on Leckner, and Leckner playing him one-on-one. He didn't know what he wanted to do here. Look, posting up is more than just getting the basketball in the post with the back to the basket thinking you're going to just score. You got to be able to take the defender somewhere. You got to be able to put it on the floor and move.
Inside 5 minutes to play in the third. Allen Houston comes off a big screen from Thorpe. Otis gets it against Big Country. Finding Leckner. Good pass to give up to Joe Dumars. Short on the 3. Rebound to Edwards. Greg Anthony driving. Scoring a foul. Anthony went down in a heap. He'll try for a 3-point play as his magical third quarter continues. He'll look for his 15th point since halftime.
Well, he's just playing with a lot of confidence right now. Came into the game shooting 49%, averaging almost 16 points a game. And as you said, Fred, his play of late has been much better than that.
Keep in mind, as a Knickerbocker backcourt player, he was only a 40% shooter from the field. So it's not like he's just throwing up wild shots and just by sheer numbers increasing his scoring. I mean, his percentage has improved greatly. 63-55. This is the closest it's been since the close of the first quarter when the Pistons led 30-22. Lindsey Hunter weaving through traffic, trying to leave it inside the Thorpe, but he ran out of room. On that one, he's got to go up and try to lay it up.
On that particular play, you're depending on chemistry. Actually, Lindsey going to the hole, probably saying, please be there, Otis, and Otis was not there.
Eric Mobley back in the ball game, playing up front now with Big Country. A lot of beef up front. Scott against Dumars. From the NBA Finals days of '89, it goes awry. And '88, of course, when the Pistons and Lakers hooked up in the NBA Finals. Houston, the pitch down low intended for Thorpe was deflected by Edwards. Allen's got to get a better passing angle. Doug Collins is really angry as he pounds the basketball in disgust.
Well, that's because, you know, at this stage of the game, you got to really tighten your concentration. And putting the ball in the post, there's an art to it. You've got to be able to execute that. It's not a nonchalant play or a nonchalant pass.
Anthony punched it out of bounds. Right now, the Vancouver Grizzlies a little bit quicker.
All that leaves the Pistons with 6 seconds on the shot clock here.
Terry Mills back in the ball game. Certainly a candidate to pop out here. Dumars saves it. 4 on the shot clock. He's trapped. Mills wide open for 3. Well, he got that huge triple with the shot clock working down, and Terry Mills saved his ball club, his first field goal tonight, and it's 66-55. Anthony was fouled.
He's almost putting his signature on that very situation, isn't he?
Sure seems like it.
Clock winding down, need a desperation shot. Call T. Mills. I mean, at this stage, I'm thinking, oh boy, they're going to need a prayer. That's not exactly a prayer because Terry was squared up and got a decent look.
Terry, 3 busters. Who are you going to call?
T. Mills.
So it remains an 11-point game as Anthony misses the first. Lindsey Hunter comes off now with his 4th personal foul to join Grant Hill. And Steve Bardo checks in. He hasn't been playing as much in recent ball games, getting limited minutes.
Hey, when did Steve get that haircut? Did he have that in Denver?
I don't think so. Yeah, you know, with the exchange rate, you can get a haircut a little cheaper north of the border, of course.
And it looks it.
66-56. Anthony with 21 now. They trap Joe momentarily. Good look inside to Thorpe. There's the veteran play. Joe wasn't about to be frustrated with a double team, and he patiently waited until the passing lane cleared and Thorpe passed 11.
As I said, Joe is totally the playmaker tonight. He is not looking for his own offense. He is trying to get other guys involved. And there's Country backing in again.
So Reeves now with his career best with 14 points. Albeit 19 games into his professional career. 10-point difference. Oh, offensive foul on Joe. Wiping on Anthony with the off arm. This could have been a hand checking as well.
Look at this. Both guys grabbing each other. It's just a matter of which one will get the call.
Good call. Joe had the arm extended. Anthony did not.
No stiff arm allowed in. No stiff arming allowed in the NBA, huh?
Could have been a no call in the eyes of the regular officials, perhaps, but they caught him. Illegal defense against Allen Houston. Two and a half to play here in the third quarter. What do you think of Big Country's game that you've seen tonight?
I've been impressed with Big Country. I know he's been somewhat criticized up here. In fact, for a while they were calling him Big Sleep Country, but he's awakening and showing a lot of promise.
He was given that moniker by Byron Houston, who has played with Golden State among a few NBA teams. They were teammates at Oklahoma State when Reeves came in, as I mentioned, from a little Oklahoma town of 300 people. Anthony in traffic. Oh, spun it up and in. He's had a magnificent quarter. 18 points for Greg Anthony. And it's 68-61, Vancouver within 7.
I think you got to figure out a way to take that left hand away. He's very strong going to the basket with that left hand.
And the Piston guards were warned about that coming in. Joe tried behind the back to Thorpe. Ball kicked by Anthony, so they reset the shot clock. I mean, Anthony is not a guy who's going to go to his offhand, the right hand, very often. There you see combined over the last 3 games from these two guys. Tonight they've combined for 28, but 23 of those from Anthony. Allen Houston rises for 2. He drained it. He's got 17, his first hoop in this half, and it's 70-61. Inside 2 minutes to play in the third.
Pistons just hanging on right here.
Steve Bardo defending. Byron Scott, good quick step.
You know, you think that Scott's going to come off that screen looking to shoot to Jay, and just when you figure that, he slashes to the basket.
Not bad for a 34-year-old guard, huh?
Not bad at all. Taking good care of himself,
yes,
though.
he has.
Still got a lot of spring.
Dumars in traffic. Puts it up quickly. Rebound weak side. Off Detroit. Vancouver ball. Crowd a factor for the first time tonight. Anthony crosses over against Bardo. Whistle. Foul. And Greg Anthony will shoot a pair. He's 4 of 7 from the line tonight. Well, this is the kind of player the Knicks thought they were getting when they made him a #1 draft pick. In fact, the 12th overall in '91. But I don't know if it was Riley's system or...
That's exactly what it was.
The way Riley handled him, but he certainly was not able to play with the freedom.
It was a lot of both of those. You know, you get a guy from a UNLV, a run and gun type team, and then you put him into a system where, you know, so much discipline is necessary. Well, you know, sometimes that can be very, very difficult to adjust to. This certainly fits his style a lot better. Unfortunately for Anthony, he's just not gonna enjoy too many nights on the win side of the ledger.
Anthony goes right, spins it up, no, draws the foul.
He is a one-man wrecking crew right now.
And a crowd, a standing ovation in unison. When you see this in the middle of a ball game, then Anthony's getting it right now. They're all on their feet. Paolo Burry rarely gets this kind of ovation with the Canucks.
I mean, they're up, all of them, and cheering for this guy. And, hey, let's be honest, he deserves it.
That's been the one Achilles heel in his attack here in this half, free throwing. His 20th point of this quarter. Greg Anthony, 70-65. Pistons lead is down to 5. Timeout, Detroit. Well, you're seeing part of the effect of Grant Hill picking up his 4th foul in this quarter. No coincidence that when Grant went to the bench, some of the offensive efficiency from the Detroit side went south.
Well, again, Grant has to learn that when he's got 3, even if it means letting someone go to the basket freely and get 2 points, he's got to allow it. Because his value to this team is so critical. He has to be on the floor. If he gets tired, Fred, you always have the option of taking him out of the game, but you can bring him back 1 or 2 minutes later. But when he's saddled with 4 fouls, he just has to sit there and your hands are tied.
How about this? Greg Anthony has outscored the Pistons himself 20-18. Well, when you're in Vancouver, you got to talk hockey. And how about the Red Wings? They'll be back on Pass Sports Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, as the Wings will take on the St. Louis Blues. Mike Keenan, Dave and Mickey will have all the play-by-play for you here Tuesday night. Again, the Grizzlies trying to halt a 16-game slide. 4 away from the NBA record for that piece of futility. And they're finally in the midst of a homestand. They just had spent virtually the entire part of this season, albeit 6 games, on the road. 6 of their first 18 away from BC.
And Fred, Antonio Harvey right there, lower hip strain will not return.
And he came onto the court and was definitely hobbling before, and Brian Winters had to remove it.
Maybe that had a lot to do with the way he looked in the post that time. So for that reason, I'll withhold my criticism of that move.
Well, suffice it to say, the best quarter of basketball for Greg Anthony in his career, with the 20 points since halftime. See if the Pistons can get off a good shot here. They were up by 20 in the first half on 2 occasions. Dumar's cut off. Thorpe against Big Country. They go to him. Otis inside, missed the right-hander. Surprised he didn't go up lefty with that, but he did draw the foul. Tried almost a backhander there.
Yeah, that was going to be a tough shot without the foul, and I'm sure Vancouver knew that he was going to put that up. Look at the numbers for Vancouver. But again, I'm sure if they'd known he was going to try and backhand it up there, they would not have fouled.
Foul was on Eric Mobley, his 3rd. And Otis steps to the line for 2. He continues to be perfect from the stripe. He's 4 for 4. And he knocks them both down. So Otis has 13. And he's 72-65. You know teams are going to make runs at you. It's just whether or not you can come back with one of your own to rebuff them. And whether or not Vancouver's expended so much energy trying to make this comeback. Well, they had the legs left in the 4th. Joe had the legs on the rebound, that's for sure.
Did.
He got up there. Allen Houston catches 3, short. Rebound, Blue Edwards. Pistons won't get the ball back with at least 3 seconds on the clock. There you see the difference in the 2. Shot clock to your left. Pick and roll Mobley. Rolls inside. Anthony does 2. Lays it up and in. Somebody has got to be able to stop this guy. This is unbelievable. Anthony with 27 points. He had 5 at halftime. Otis Thorpe gets it off in time. Does it count? No. I think it was a proper call. Much like the one from Terry Mills outside the timeline in Denver. Watch it again. Didn't have time for dribbles, what it amounted to. Good call. As the jump shot by Thorpe is negated. So Doug Collins, I'm sure, will try to find somebody who can guard the opposite point guard, because right now the Grizzlies are back in it. We got a ball game, folks. 72-67 Detroit as we head to the 4th.
This holiday season, don't let a fortune pass you by. The Discover Card Big Payback is back, awarding 8 winners $250,000 each. Just shop with your Discover Card and you're automatically entered in our holiday sweepstakes. The more you do, the more chances you have to win. Who would want to miss that? It pays to Discover, the card with the big payback. Use it where you see the Novus sign. To apply for your Discover Card, just call 1-800-DISCOVER.
Get great seats for this week's game at the Palace box office, Ticketmaster, or charge by phone.
Joe Dumars for your 31 Metro Detroit Ford dealers.
So what's my idea of a winning team? Guys will go all out to get the job done. You know, do whatever it takes. True pros in every sense of the word, like your Metro Detroit Ford dealers.
Your Metro Detroit Ford dealers welcome Joe Dumars to their winning team. The only place where you'll find 5 of America's very best.
Make that 6. See your Metro Detroit Ford dealer today. Now that's my kind of team.
Well, the Pistons defensively, after allowing 13 points in the second quarter, coughed up 32 in the third. 25 from the left hand of Greg Anthony. Don't forget Red Wings hockey Tuesday night here on Pass Sports, as the Wings will get a look at the St. Louis Blues, 9 o'clock here on Pass Sports. Greg Anthony with the third best quarter by a Piston opponent in franchise history. David Thompson had 32 in his heroic game at the Cobo Arena back in 1978. Hal Greer had 22, as did Anthony once upon a time against the Pistons. Michael Jordan has the second best quarter ever against the Pistons, 26. So some pretty lofty company there for Mr. Anthony.
No question. Well, the Pistons are going to have to reestablish themselves as the aggressor in this quarter. They spent that entire third quarter playing off their heels, allowing Vancouver to totally dictate tempo, rhythm, and everything.
I'm not sure what this call is about. Doug Collins isn't either, as we get the explanation. I don't know if there's an illegal offensive set, perhaps an isolation play.
Well, while the officials are sorted out, they're getting a lot of help from Doug Collins and Alvin Gentry.
I'm sure this is the first time Vancouverites have heard this call. They're interested in the explanation, too. Is
that in the book?
Well, I know it's an offside. Or icing.
We have okay. You see the two players up top, Lechner and Lindsey Hunter. Now what the officials, I think, were trying to call was an illegal formation or illegal offensive set by the Pistons, trying to draw Vancouver into an illegal defense. These two guys cannot stand out there that far away.
Well, at any rate,
but they've reversed this.
I know you can't have four players up above the timeline, in addition to the ball. Thorpe was in the post, so at any rate.
You heard Alvin Gentry saying you can't. We didn't have three up there, right, let alone four.
Now it's been stopped again as Mike Bobbiat, the presumable head official of the three, he's the one that waved it off. Now they've reset the shot clock. Maybe it was a two-line pass.
Well, I don't know. These guys, you know, it took them forever to figure out the illegal defensive call.
Yeah, right.
And now they're trying to really mess with something complicated.
I mean, you rarely see that offensive isolation call made. Ball deflected into the backcourt. Now they're going to call over and back. No offensive foul. It's on Joe Dumars. Chris King hit the deck. This is coming unglued here.
And Joe Dumars not getting the benefit of any whistles, any of his 12 years experience and tenure. Few whistles now have gone against the captain.
Couldn't get out of the way of that one. Joe picks up his third foul. Don't look now, but Vancouver can get it to 2 or 3 points here. Offensive foul, Bryant Reeves, a moving screen. His second personal. Graham Hill back on the floor, up front with Thorpe and Lechner. It's a Dumars-Hunter backcourt. Grant on the pound. Thorpe being muscled away from his spot by Reeves. Draws a double team. Ball rotation to Joe. Tries a three. Good arc. Got it. That looked good when he left it off his fingertips, and Joe has 6.
You know, when the Pistons have moved that ball crisply throughout the night, they've come away in pretty good shape.
Joe's threes have been falling short recently, but that was perfect. And a foul on Lechner. The Pistons are going to need some production from number 4 here in the fourth quarter to maybe weather the storm.
You know, I think that Eric Lechner has to do a better job of playing Bryant before he gets the basketball. When he gets it that low, as he did a moment ago, you're not going to stop him without fouling, because he's already established a pretty good rhythm and confidence in this game. But the bigger problem right now, obviously, is this guy, Anthony, continuing to get inside the left hand And how many three-point opportunities will this be for him now?
Too many to count. He's got 29. He'll look for 30. Unbelievable performance by this guy. Although he has not been very proficient at the free throw line, but he now has a career high of 29. 75-69. It's a 6-point game. Thorpe banging big country. Hunter given the shot. Inside, a soft pass deflected. Pistons got a break. Reeves and a foul. Lindsay's got to be careful with those passes into the post.
Yeah, better play would be to kick it back out to Grant Hill and let Grant Hill make the easy pass from the top.
Third foul on Reeves. Boy, nothing comes easy for the Pistons on the road.
Thorpe is posting up like he wants that basketball the last few times against Reeves.
Dumars off a screen, missed it badly. King blew the rebound. Grant saved it. Joe tries a three. Too strong. Thorpe with the rebound. Good job by OT to save it. Back out to Joe. 16-foot toss. No. Ratliff tried to get it. Loose ball foul. Vancouver. It'll be on Mobley.
Once again, the Pistons getting multiple shots. And keep in mind, Vancouver, not a very good rebounding team, last in the league. And at a point where, you know, Fred, they really need to get a rebound, that's when that statistic really comes up to haunt them.
Pistons have outboarded them tonight, 29-20. They lead in the scoreboard by 6. Reeves a foul again.
He's picked up 3 very, very quickly here.
Yeah, he's in trouble now. With his 4th foul, Brian Winters a decision to make. That time he just tried to steer Otis Thorpe away from his spot.
Well, the Pistons can get him out of the game by just continuing to try to get the ball inside the Thorpe, because Reeves is not backing off in terms of being physical in there trying to deny him in the post area.
He's riding him like an Oklahoma State Cowboy is what he's doing. Thorpe triple team, gives it up. Somebody's got to be open. Dumars a 3. Got it! Joe has stroked a couple of triples when they've needed him. He's got 9. 78-69. And a piece of 9-point breathing space right now.
Joe's starting to look for a shot now. He's come out of the playmaking mode.
Big country against Thorpe, and Otis gets the foul.
Nice little battle going on between a pair of 50s in there.
Problem is the 50 wearing white weighs 292, and Otis Thorpe listed at 245, so that's 47 pounds of beef.
That's a weight advantage there, isn't it? Sizable.
Yeah, I would say. Anthony had to give it up. Byron Scott dribbles into 3 blue shirts. Offensive foul. Grant Hill was knocked over by Scott. Good call. As Byron tried to initiate a little bit too much there. I'm sure Doug Collins held his breath for an instant.
Help side defense. Very, very good here.
You don't want Grant picking up his 5th foul, that's for sure. Thorpe rolls. Grant spinning into a shot. Dumps it nicely instead. Ratliff walk. Good call. One dribble would have done it. Vancouver gets it back. Just the 8th Piston turnover. Or excuse me, the 13th. Vancouver with it. So the Pistons have not done as good a job as the home team in that department.
This is starting to look like Denver in terms of difficulty scoring for Detroit.
Don't say that. Anthony cut off. Rainbow. Too strong. Rebound up there. Grant Hill with it. Comes out of the pack. 4 and 3. Joe on his right. Back to Grant. Collects, scores. How did he manage to get that one to go down?
Boy, how did he stop on a dime? I thought he was headed for out of bounds on that play.
Just a brilliant athletic play by Grant. He's got 14 points. I mean, he had no room to go. Somehow corralled the pass behind him and still scored. Inside 9 minutes to go.
Yeah, must be those patent leathers he's wearing.
Long bomb from the corner. Scott missed the 3. Weak side rebound, Mobley. Bang Thorpe to get it. 8.5 left with BC. Or GM place here in BC. 80-69. Scott feathers the pass inside nicely to Reeves. He's in trouble. Not like Grant Hill. Oh! Consumed by Theo. Lindsay was tripped up. Gives it to Joe from 20. Swish! Joe with 11.
Joe's starting to put his signature on this 4th quarter.
Thank you, Cap, they say, as he heads to the bench. Joe Dumars with 8 points in the quarter.
But it started with Theo.
Solid defense. 82-69, timeout Vancouver.
of the future will have many hundreds of television channels.
Gee, mister, won't that be confusing?
Not with this, a video guide. It'll let them see what's on 7 days into the future, or what's on right now. It'll give them instant news and sports scores. And with just one touch, they'll even be able to tape record their favorite television shows. Don't forget the tape.
So what do you think they'd call this video guide?
Video guide. It's about time.
Nobody does it like you.
The new Hoover Dirt Finder electronically senses deep down embedded dirt. You know it's clean
Nobody
when the light turns green.
does it like you.
He is now back! Holy mackerel! Oh, wow! The biggest slams, the baddest jams. NBA action is the real thing. NBA action, Tuesday night on Pass Sports.
Well, we just about played 4 minutes of basketball here in Vancouver. Pistons trying to build that lead back up. It's now a 13-point spread. Thanks mainly to Joe Dumars, who has a pair of triples and a 2. Pistons basketball brought to you in part by Fago Beverages. When was the last time you had a good slug of Red Pop?
Well, Doug Yalaki, our producer, who knows a lot of basketball, he says that Theo Ratliff starts the good defense by forcing Reeves underneath the backboard. Now, at this point, the backboard is a defender. You got to avoid the backboard with the ball, and when Reeves brings it out into play to try and execute the shot, boy, Theo is just licking his chops. Get it out of here.
And I mean now.
And that led to a Pistons break. And at least for the moment, they've reassumed control.
So our halftime guest now with 2 rejections. Theo averaging about a block and a half a game. Pistons off to a quick getaway. They've certainly played much better defense. Per the coach's orders, to be sure.
Well, you can't fight off your heels, that's for sure. And that's what they did throughout that third quarter. They came out in the fourth quarter a different team. They came out in the fourth quarter like they started the game.
Now they pick him up full court. Mobley has to call a timeout. A 20-second call. Just enough to shake them up a little bit. They can burn at 20. Actually, he had Anthony open, but didn't want to take a chance. Vancouver certainly has been in these situations before. We talked about the recent game with Chicago, in which they led in the fourth until Jordan took over. Right now, the foul's a major concern for Brian Winters. Joe Dumars will hit the bucket here.
That was after the Theo miss. It'll be, the Theo block. You know, it'll be interesting to see how Vancouver responds. As you indicated, criticized by Scott for quitting, although all the players didn't necessarily agree with that assessment. But let's see if they've still got some fight in them. The Pistons certainly must expect that they will and not relax.
Good job of trapping the screen and roll by Ratliff, but that left Reeves wide open, and he knocked it down. Bryant Reeves was 16.
Wow, I didn't know he had that.
It's like Bill Lambier on that one. 82-71. High screen and roll by Thorpe and Hill. King clogged it up. Grant crosses over, spins into Reeves, had to readjust block. Big Country got it. Anthony in the hurry up. Ran out of room, leaves it inside. Shot missed. King on the follow. One of the few transition hoops for the home team, and it's back to a 9-point count. 7:20 left in the fourth. Clock cannot move fast enough for the head coach of the Pistons. Down deep to Thorpe. He's doubled by Anthony. That left Lindsey Hunter. Space, runs into Mobley. They let him play. 3-on-2. Here's King.
Lindsey tried to take the baseline. Mobley got over, cut him off. Gave no ground whatsoever. That's a big, big roadblock in there.
Timeout Pistons. Doug Collins wants Lindsey Hunter. And the rest to compose themselves here. Now it's down to 7 again, almost halfway through the fourth.
Joe Dumars for your 31 Metro Detroit Ford dealers.
To take on my team, Ford Windstar is one safe call.
With over 40 standard safety features, including dual airbags and four-wheel anti-lock brakes, Ford Windstar has been designed with safety in mind, not to mention an incredibly quiet ride. And now get $1,000 RCO cash back on Ford Windstar for a lease payment as low as $249 a month for 24 months.
For my family, Ford Windstar is safe and sound. See a Metro Detroit Ford dealer today.
Hey, come on down here. This right here, this is the line. It's the three-point line. You do this, it's worth nothing. Now you do this, now this could be worth $1 million. This is what separates the winners from the losers. Are you ready to step up to the line? You're not stepping anywhere until you go to Foot Locker, because when you vote for your favorite NBA All-Star, you're automatically in a Foot Locker $1 million shot sweepstakes. This shot's worth $1 million, if you can make it.
Well, the Pistons, by and large, have been able to keep the hometown Grizzlies from making this a track meet, because when they have had numbers, they can finish pretty well. And here Chris King able to score off the 3-on-2.
You know, as a forward, what I appreciate about that play, he got the ball early. A lot of guards try to take it all the way to the free throw line, and you're running the lane, and at that point, you don't have an option. He gave it to King early and allowed King to use his athleticism to get to the basket for what turned out to be a comfortable layup.
So Vancouver on another spurt. I'll tell you, hockey crowds in Western Canada sometimes, whether it's fair or not, have a rap of being a little bit more passive, perhaps in Calgary and Edmonton and out here. But tonight, this basketball crowd has been very noisy and very much a part of this Grizzly comeback. It's a 7-point game as Grant Hill goes to work. Thorpe pops up. That leaves Dumars against Blue Edwards in the post. Joe says, get off my back. 4 on the shot clock. Joe has to hurry. Fights up the shot. Doesn't go. Rebound up there, Grant Hill and Theo Ratliff. A couple of leapers. We have a foul on Vancouver. And it's going to go against Big Mowgli. That'll be number 5 on him.
You know, the reason why Vancouver is probably not a very good a rebounding team right now, Fred, I've been noticing, they don't block out. They try to win the jumping contest in there. Now, look at this. Look at the position all the blue shirts have. And, of course, when you've got Ratliff and you've got Thorpe and you've got Grant Hill in there and you're trying to win a jumping contest against those guys, you're not going to win that too many times.
So Grant with his 15th point, he'll look for 16. He's got 9 rebounds, and his assist count the same as it was at halftime with 5. And keep in mind, he sat much of the third quarter with the foul trouble. He split him. Grant fouls it in. It was kept alive long enough. And so Grant with an unusual 3-point play, and it's 85-75.
Notice how that's the way you stop Anthony on the pick and roll. You really show big. You show big like Theo just did, and you force him to veer out as opposed to turning the corner and going to the basket.
Grant with a knockaway. 4 on the shot clock. Anthony realizes it. Has to ad-lib. Darts in between 2 defenders. Scores.
Wow. That was impressive.
That really was. He was 30 feet from the bucket with 2 blue shirts in his face and a shot clock below 5, and he scored. Grant sizes up King, runs into Dumars. Joe couldn't get out of the way. Still plenty of time here, no need to hurry. Grant sees a seam, had it knocked away from him.
He is so quick.
That he is, and because of it, he will shoot 2 here. Foul on Blue Edwards.
But before he shoots, he's got to go over to Blue Edwards and reclaim his hand.
I need that, thank you.
Got to shoot these free throws.
Has had some trouble at the line tonight. He's 3 for 9. Gotta knock these down. Sends that one nicely. He has 17. Make it 18, excuse me. 86-77. 9-point lead. King out high. Blue Edwards off the screen, readjusts, missed it. Reeves on a tap, too hard. Blue Edwards missed the tap, out of bounds. Belongs to the Grizzlies. 5:25 to play in the ball game. Doug Collins said before the game, a lot of his key guys would have to play a lot of minutes tonight. He's not worried about tomorrow night. This is the one they've got to get. Inside, King. Scores and a foul. Foul on Allen Houston. So Chris King will look for point number 9. He only averages 9 a game.
Hey, all I can say is thank goodness for the 23-3 run at the beginning of the game.
Absolutely. Pistons did build it back up to 20 in the second quarter. There was a 17-point lead at halftime. But the Greg Anthony show in the third put a new perspective on this ball game. And Vancouver has not backed off. 86-80. The Pistons with a precarious 6-point lead as we wind our way down toward 5 minutes to play in the game. Grant takes it inside, missed it. Thorpe on a tap. Because Mobley had to help out, that left Thorpe open, and Otis with 15.
Well, Grant Hill is doing just that. I mean, he's drawing so much attention from Vancouver that they just don't have enough men out there to cover everybody. 3 men running Grant Hill. That leaves Theo an easy path to the basket for the tip in.
Otis Thorpe with a foul as Reeves went down with a thud. That's the 5th on Thorpe. So Bryant Reeves will shoot 2. He's only a 60% shooter from the stripe.
Main thing here, don't get it blocked, because somebody's going to be there to tip it in, because half of the defense is going after you, Grant Hill, that time.
Lechner will check back in. So it's a night with Reeves and Anthony both getting career highs in points. Anthony more impressive since this is his 5th year of NBA basketball. Where for Reeves, of course, he's a rookie. He split him. Mobley got the rebound. Lechner didn't box him off. Anthony again. Blocked by Lechner. Finally, they managed to stuff one down his throat as he's continued to challenge the big guys throughout the second half. 7-point game. Deep pass to Anthony. Reeves against Lechner. Shuffles inside. Blocked by Grant. On the help out.
He came from way on the other side to get a piece of that.
Big time play by Grant.
And got it just in the nick of time. The ball was still on its way up, but close to descending.
Grant now with a screen. Has Anthony on him on a mismatch. That draws a double from King, leaving Joe open. He'll try a 3. Too strong. A rebound to Grant on a tip back to Houston. And a reset shot clock. Coming up on 4 minutes to play in the ball game. Pistons hanging on by their fingertips. Grant again on the screen and roll with Joe. Has Anthony on another mismatch. Goes baseline inside. No, my gosh, he hit the back of his head. Oh my, that one hurt. They're going to have him just lay there for a little bit.
Well, he was selling out that time, giving up the body. Knew he was going to hit hard, but try to hang. Stay in there, see the basket. And yeah, went down quite hard.
He's taken some tough tumbles in his 2 years in the NBA.
See, at this point, you can start to brace yourself, but you really want to get that basket, so you stay there. You know you're going to fall flat. No way to brace himself coming down.
He landed full force on his back, and then his head took a terrible whiplash thump on the hardwood. Mike Abdon and I are working on Grant. We'll take a quick timeout and check on his condition when we come back.
Here we go.
Dress for success. Dress true. Look good.
like a true American. The Army National Guard, Americans at their best.
It's hot. It's cool. It's exclusive Pass sports gear. Call 1-800-488-PASS for a free color catalog. Pass sports gear. Buy it. Wear it. For a free catalog of exclusive Pass sports gear, call 1-800-488-PASS today.
Well, Calvin and Janet Hill back in Maryland watching via satellite can breathe a little bit easier as Grant is up, albeit stiff, as he heads over to the bench. A full timeout. Got up very slowly. But boy, that was a scary fall that he took. Watch it again. Gets up so high, and then as he tumbled over Mobley's back, just full force on his back.
Yeah. To the point I want to make again is halfway through that shot, he could have let go of the basketball, tried to brace himself, but he was trying to get that 2 points. So you hold on to it so you can get a good look, you release it. At that point, Fred, you cannot brace yourself. You're going to fall, and you're going to fall hard. You just hope that you're not hurt. Now, this will probably sting him a lot more tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. But I'm sure right now in Grant Hill's mind, hey, I got to make these free throws. We got to win this game.
Oh, to be 23 again, huh?
Yeah. Your chances of shaking it off a lot better at that age.
That's for sure. We'll see if he can compose himself now for 2 free throws. We'll try again. You know, Calvin used to take those stumps, but that's just go back to the huddle after that happens when you're a running back.
Well, you know, he was a high flyer. I remember him. He used to get criticized for getting in the air trying to jump over people.
So Grant settles for a split of the two, 89-81. See how he's moving. He's wincing a little bit, but he seems to be okay. You know, Doug Collins would not be taking any chances if he thought Grant would be risking further injury here. Bryant Reeves inside on the post up. Leckner let him get way too deep.
Let me ask you this. How do you like him?
He's been impressive.
Yeah, he has.
He's been assertive in the post, used his bulk. That time, Leckner just let him get too much space down there. It's a 6-point game, 3:20 left. Allen Houston, left-handed pound against Edwards. Dumars knows he can muscle Anthony. Cut off by his quickness though. Joe fights it up. No. Rebound plucked out of there by Mobley.
Okay, right now, if they're going to go inside to Bryant Reeves, and I got to believe it's either Reeves or Anthony. See, notice already he's got solid position in that post area.
Pistons may want to double him more now because he's become a factor. Lou Edwards goes inside. Leckner went down. And Edwards will shoot a pair. Anthony's mouthing off in there.
Leckner did force him a little bit farther away from the basket that time before he caught the ball. He forced Reeves out. And as you said, they doubled and got it out of Reeves' hands.
Hey, Anthony's coming up toward the bench. He's limping right now. He got caught in that entanglement down there. He's trying to walk it off. Leckner sits down. Doug Collins talking about low post defense to Eric Leckner. As Thorpe checks back in. Leckner with his 5th foul. So Blue Edwards will shoot 2. He's a 71% shooter from the line. Throughout his career, he's been a little bit better than that.
Fred, they just gave both players technicals, Eric Leckner and Greg Anthony, so they offset, and there'll be no shots taken for that.
2:51 to play. It's a 5-point game. Edwards averages 12 a game. He's only had half that tonight. Pistons dearly could use a hoop here. It's Ratliff, Thorpe, Hill up front. Houston and Dumars continue to work the backcourt. for it. Musling as Houston fell down. Allen kicked the ball. Houston comes up wincing and hobbling.
You know, he
set the shot clock is what they're going to do.
Lost his footing there. I don't know if the floor was slippery or what, but look at this. Actually steps on Blue Edwards' foot, which caused him to lose his footing and the ball.
That can be termed as a kick save for Houston because Vancouver would have had numbers the other way.
Yeah.
5-point game, less than 2.5 left. Anthony looking for an open cutter. Edwards. Therese fronted. Got away with a shifting of the shoes. Blocked by Grant. Second stuffing of big comfort tonight in the fourth quarter. Both on help out, obviously.
Yep.
Grant looks like he never felt it all. Working against King. 7 on the shot clock. Says, get off me. In the post, it's Thorpe. Grant sees a lane. Goes inside. How about that for Gus? Thorpe for a rebound. Brings it back up. Gotta love Grant Hill. Goes down huge.
And it goes right back in there.
Coming up on 1:40 to play. Pistons by 5. Milking the shot clock. Thorpe with a big hand. Open man Houston. 20-footer. Got it! Allen Houston with a big-time hoop. He has 19. Humongous bucket.
And they got
91-84.
They got it inside, forced the double, and then Thorpe with a big hand. He could put it out in that outstretched arm and look over the court.
Anthony, a forced 3. That's a bad shot.
Yeah, it is.
Terrible shot.
Sure is. Pistons will take it. Now they'll start to work some clock.
1:20 left and counting. Joe now hoping to force him to foul, perhaps. Vancouver just needs to play good defense. They should not purposely foul here. Somehow Joe found Houston has scored. What a great pass and an even better shot. And Allen Houston steps up after the turnover and comes up with 2 huge hoops.
Grant Hill is in pain out there on the floor, so fortunately for the Pistons, other guys are stepping up. That was an incredible pass by Joe Dumars.
It really was. 1:08 to play, and the Pistons now with a 9-point lead. We'll be back. Can the Pistons hang on? They hope to. We'll have the answer after this.
If you're still struggling with a wheelbarrow or a back-straining garden cart, call this number for complete details about the revolutionary DR Power Wagon. Yes, with a DR Power Wagon, you can haul heavy, bulky loads with never-before ease and take on those projects you've been putting off for years. Rocks, firewood, gravel and building materials, hay bales, and garden supplies. That dumped body makes for easy unloading, and the optional sulky even lets you ride. You can haul up to 800 pounds uphill or down, through soft soil and muck, even into places you wouldn't dare take a rider. You'll be amazed at what the DR Power Wagon can help you accomplish around your home, business, or property. A big color catalog is just $2. Call toll-free 1-800-253-8005. That's 1-800-253-8005 for your big color catalog all about the revolutionary DR Power Wagon.
Well, a little more than a minute to go, and Doug Collins will have his first road victory at the helm of the Pistons, but they got to finish this thing off, leading 93-84. Now it's time to give you tonight's Unsung Hero, brought to you by the Discover card. It pays to discover the card that pays you back. And boy, emblematic of the Unsung Hero, no better this season, frankly, than Joe Dumars. 11 points, 9 assists. And Joe with some big-time hoops, of course, in this fourth quarter. Stepping up the way you would hope a captain would be able to. And Joe has been all of that here in the fourth. He's our Unsung Hero, brought to you by the Discover card.
Now, of course, Brian Reeves, it's very, very nice to be able to draw this kind of defensive attention. It means you've done some damage throughout, but he's got to be able to know that he can't get that shot off. Pistons, they'll reject it and go the other way. Grant Hill still out on the floor. I saw him during the timeout wincing. He is in pain, but still out there trying to steal this victory.
It's a mid-back pain that he's got right now, according to trainer Mike Abdenel. Edwards on the left-handed dribble. Lost it. Out of bounds, but it's... Yes, it is Piston ball. Tried to force the issue and just forced it too much. So Lindsey Hunter will check back in. Theo Ratliff comes off the floor as Doug Collins wants his better free throw shooters on the floor. With 1:01 left, Vancouver's going to have to foul here. We just hope that Grant will be able to somehow stay loose, Greg, on that 2-hour flight to San Francisco tonight.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting. Tomorrow night's game will come very quickly. He may have to get treatment all throughout. Vancouver's going to pretty much let it go.
Surprise. Valuable time ticking away. Houston tries again. Short this time. Rebound. Up there is Thorpe. And a save. Good play. Reset shot clock, and this should do it. Now they'll have to foul. As I said, now they'll have to foul. Won't they?
Well, I'm convinced with last possession, they decided that they had lost this game.
Lindsey Hunter, as King blows the dunk. Lindsey trying to save some face in front of the coach with a great dive, but it was a bad pass that he threw. Doug was off the bench. I mean, you can't give a team life. And Joe will dribble out the clock. So the first road victory finally comes. Yes, against the expansionites from Vancouver, but it counts nonetheless. The biggest concern right now is Grant Hill as he hobbles off the floor, whether he'll be able to bounce back tomorrow night. Arnie Kander will be a big part of that, as he'll work on Grant almost immediately. In fact, we'll follow him everywhere except into the shower.
Maybe there.
93-84. Hey, anything for the team, right? Pistons win by 9. We'll be back with Greg to wrap it up as the Pistons finally get that road victory for 95-96.
I look at you and I see myself.
I look at you and I see my world.
As long as we're together, time can't touch us.
Eternity for Men. Calvin Klein. This holiday edition, a $77 value, now yours for a $55 suggested retail price.
The Maglite flashlight. Brighter, tougher, made in America. Maglite, the perfect gift to brighten the holidays. Maglite.
If there's a boat out there and he's stranded, that's us. We're out there, we're doing the job.
Now that's a resume.
It's hot. It's cool. It's exclusive Pass sports gear. Call 1-800-488-PASS for a free color catalog. Pass sports gear. Buy it. Wear it. For a free catalog of exclusive Pass sports gear, call 1-800-488-PASS today. Red Wings hockey on Pass Sports.
Look out again. Oh, boy. There it is. Back and back. He's in on ball. Big score.
See the most Red Wings games on Pass Sports, the source for Michigan sports.
Boy, this line just keeps on rolling.
Detroit Pistons basketball on Pass Sports, brought to you by The Wellness Plan, an HMO that's good for you. By Target, expect more, pay less. And brought to you by your local Michigan and Northwest Ohio cable television company.
Well, a huge sigh of relief for the Pistons side of things as they defeat the Vancouver Grizzlies 93-84. We said a streak, of course, would end tonight. Either Vancouver's 16-game overall skid or the Pistons' 17-game road losing streak going back to last season. And it's the Pistons' bad spell that finally goes by the boards. But a bigger concern right now is Grant. And hopefully, he will, being 23 years old, can sleep this thing off and play tomorrow night in Oakland.
Well, I think one thing that'll help him heal a little faster is the fact that they got a win. They finally got a road win. But, you know, I'm just really impressed with the way he went in there. He knew he was going to fall, and he knew he was going to fall hard. but he hung in there trying to get the basket because it was so very important that the Pistons get this win. But I think he'll be okay somehow. I imagine tomorrow night in Oakland, we'll see 33 out there on the floor.
Have you ever had that happen?
I've had that happen. I mean, anytime you have a guy that gets up in the air, especially in a crowd, there's always the tendency to have someone go underneath you and you fall hard. I remember doing it and coming away with a hip pointer. So maybe, as we talked about before we came on, maybe he's very fortunate that he didn't fall sideways. He fell squarely on his back.
All right, let's check some other scores around the NBA on our Hoover scoreboard. Of course, all finals now, with this one being out in the Pacific Coast time zone. San Antonio has beaten Atlanta in a good one at the Omni, a 2-point affair for the Spurs. Milwaukee in home court, playing better basketball now, beating the Clippers by 9, 112-103. Utah stung again by Denver, second time this season. The Nuggets have gotten their Rocky Mountain rival. And Portland persevered, coming from behind, beating Toronto at the Rose Garden tonight, 96-88. Here, the Pistons prevail 93-84 for victory number 7 of the season. They go to 7-10. We'll be back with the statistical story of how they got it done after this.
Nobody does it like you, the way that you do. Nobody's got the power to please me.
The new Hoover Steam Vac Deluxe with a 5-brush agitator. It washes and extracts dirt like a whole crew of professionals. So you know, there's really no comparison.
Nobody does it like you, Hoover. Nobody does it like you.
It's hot. It's cool. It's exclusive Pass sports gear. Call 1-800-488-PASS for a free color catalog. Pass sports gear. Buy it. Wear it. For a free catalog of exclusive Pass sports gear, call 1-800-488-PASS today.
Hi, I'm Steve Garagiola, reminding you that Live on Pass is the only place to be for all the scores, the news, and all the highlights, the sports information that you want to know. In fact, it's the only one-hour sports report that you're going to find. We're talking about the topics that Michigan sports fans are talking about. And besides, you never know what sports celebrity is going to show up and take your calls. It's Live on Pass every weeknight from 6 to 7 o'clock, only on Pass.
Welcome back to a very much quiet GM Place in Vancouver. I'll tell you, Greg and I were talking during the timeout. Very impressive with this basketball knowledgeable crowd, giving Greg Anthony a standing ovation as he walked to the free throw line. Where do you see that in the NBA? And I think this city proving very early on that they love NBA basketball, and with justifiable reason, they're going to have a lot of fun with this franchise.
Yeah, well, you know, Greg Anthony really set this crowd on fire with this third quarter performance, and it was quite nice to see that. In fact, I kind of got a little chilled over there myself. Heck yeah. Because, I mean, they were showing the appreciation for some heck of a hustle from the young man. And you got to feel that in the coming years, when this team, you know, starts to get a little better, they're going to have tremendous fan support in this very, very nice building.
Anthony had 22 points in the third quarter, but it wasn't enough. 11 for 19 is what the southpaw point guard did tonight, as the Pistons outshot him 51% to 43, Greg. And Vancouver has been struggling all season long shooting the ball, as they are the worst in the league in that department.
Yeah, very impressive, though, the job that their two young players, Anthony, the fifth-year guard, as you indicated, and Reeves, the rookie, 50 points between the two of them. They had quite a night.
Ryan Reeves certainly showing he has a game at this level. Rebounding, Grant Hill, what a night he had. He had 3 block shots as well. You know, last year he was a star, but I think you're seeing more and more a superstar in the making as he raises his game in all different levels. And if he can just stay healthy, boy, what a future this guy has.
Absolutely. You know, Vancouver, The Pistons spurted on them in the first quarter. They came back. They gave it an effort. But right there is where Detroit won this game. They won it on the boards. Vancouver, one of the worst teams in the league, rebounding-wise, and in the fourth quarter, when they needed a defensive rebound, they just could not come away with one.
And a footnote to the stats, Joe Dumars, 9 assists, including a couple of threes and a 2 when they desperately needed to weather the storm, and they did indeed. In fact, not much of a storm here weather-wise. It's been beautiful the last few days. Now they head down to a little warmer climes in the Bay Area. In fact, they'll head out immediately following this game, and then we'll see you tomorrow night, 10:30. On Michigan time, as the Pistons take a look at the Golden State Warriors. Will they have enough gas in the tank? We certainly hope so. They'll give it a shot tomorrow night at the Oakland Coliseum Arena. Please join us, if you will, for the coverage of the Pistons and the Warriors from Oakland, California. Stay with us now for women's NCAA volleyball tournament style. Michigan State, the Spartans against San Diego State. It's up next here on Pass Sports. For our producer-director, Doug Yalaki, and my partner, Greg Kelser, this is Fred McLeod saying so long from Vancouver. Once again, our final score, the Pistons 93, the Grizzlies 84. Good morning, everybody.